There we go. All right, welcome in. Hold on a second, guys. Just let me fix my headphones. There we go. That sounds better. All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rant, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E-Gallery in Dallas's fantastic design district. I am Pugs Moran. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, round about noon. What is it? Well, most days it's... Does my mic sound funny?
No, you sound fine to me.
Hold on. I haven't introduced you yet. We got a guest in. I'm sorry. But my mic sounds funny. I think might be my headphones. I'm not going to let it distract you. Every day we get together here in the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios and we talk about the world. Talk radio for normal people is what I like to call it. Lately, though, we've been bringing in guests, and we've got a return guest. I think this is our first return guest. It's Monday, so that means it must be Sunbrew Brandon Day. Oh, look at that. I did the wrong thing. Here we go. Say hi. It's Brandon, everybody. I do apologize.
Say hello. Hey, how you doing?
There he is. What brings you to these parts, Brandon?
Just want to do a follow-up checkup, man. That's all.
Hold on. I don't hear you very well.
Test one.
You need to speak it up.
No, it's. I'm not hearing it through my own microphone or my headphones. I'm not hearing myself.
At all. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Sorry, that was me right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon.
Hello.
All right. So how are you?
I'm good, man. Had a great weekend.
What did you get into this? Oh, yeah, you did have a good weekend. You know what? I'm glad that you're here because I was going to talk to you anyway. You sent me a bizarre video that you might be curious as to why I didn't have many follow-up questions. And that's because I thought, when you get in here today, what were you doing partying on a Learjet that seemed like it was about to crash into a hillside?
Man, we've got a thing called the Texas Rattlesnake Rally that I'm putting on this year, May 15th through 18th. But I've created something called the Viper Pit. So I've got like my party within the rally or rally within the rally. And so we had to go check out a rally in Bandera, Texas. It's every year. It's called the Thunderhill Rally. So to get there faster, we took a jet versus trying to drive. And on the way home, we had a little bit of fun in the jet.
Yeah, it looked like there were a bunch of passed out chicks, like just strewn about the jet, while the jet seemed to be waffling, while the wings seemed to be waffling at excessively low altitudes.
I don't know how close we got to the ground, but there's a private runway in Walnut Springs, Texas, and we did kind of like we're gonna hit the runway, but we pulled back up, and they hit a bunch of tight turns like really fast. I mean, my stomach was getting sucked in. It was awesome. It was great. Just like a thrill ride.
It was just for fun.
Kind of, but also we wanted to do a flyover of Walnut Springs to get a look at the town from up above.
Yeah.
But while we did it, we kind of made a joyride out of it. But yeah, it was a great time. It was awesome.
That sounds great. I don't know, this era of increasing FAA situations and all of that. I don't know if now's the best time for you to be dicking around, but hey, it was.
I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. And what I loved about it, if you saw us, you thought we were about to crash because all of a sudden the plane's going down low.
Yeah. Well, that's the video that I saw. I thought I was watching a crash video.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Except you were texting me about it. So I figured at least one idiot survived.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah. Well, it looked like fun. Hold on. A little bit of house cleaning that we. Why does my mic? I'm sorry. I'm just having a really bad. Let me switch headphones. Let me see if maybe. Ugh.
I'm hearing you fine.
Yeah, it's the way I'm hearing it that isn't good.
Okay.
So you know what I'm gonna do? Wow, are these Keiths? Are these Keiths from Shock House Dallas, a new show we're putting together? I think these might be Keiths.
Are those a Dr. Dracon? They look fancy.
I don't know what these are.
I'm sorry, not Dr. Beats. Is it Beats by Dre?
Maybe these are CC's. I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah, Peter is mentioning Randy Rhodes. Are you familiar with the Randy Rhodes story?
No. Is that the guy that died in the plane crash with the group?
Yeah. Okay, now it sounds better. All right.
Leonard Skinner or something like that? Who was it?
No, Randy Rhodes was Ozzy Osbourne's guitar player. And one night after a concert, they were staying at a very wealthy benefactor's sprawling Florida estate. And this guy had a plane and they all got fucked up. And they were like, let's go for a plane ride. And the plane was trying to buzz the tour bus, and it clipped the tour bus.
Oh, Jesus.
Went into the house.
Oh, man.
It destroyed the mansion, caught it all on fire, and one of rock and roll's greatest guitarists died at like 24 being stupid in a very cool rock and roll way.
We did have a professional pilot and I guess a co-pilot, because that kind of system, you have to have two people in the front, not one. I'm gone now. I can't hear myself again. You hit a button, it did something
Yeah,
to me.
you're fine. It's just keep going.
Okay. Yeah, my head fell. That's weird. Something just changed. Anyway, no, we had professional pilots, and there's 2 of them in the front, so we were in good hands.
All right, very good. Let me see here. Some other things we need to mention here at the top. A lot of stuff I want to get into. There's stuff we want to talk about. We're also going to talk about. We got another trivia night tomorrow, right?
Yes, we do.
Oh my God, that's too loud. All right, trivia. Look, I had so much fun on Tuesday. I thought it was a one-off. You're telling me we're out there again? Where are we going to be tomorrow?
We're going to be at the back 9 in Ashton, 4060 Beltline Road. This night, it's going to start at 7 p.m. But here's the deal. We knew it was a test run, but if it went successful, which it did, then that means it continues on.
There you go, right down there. Join me and Brandon. Don't know if Lacey will be out there. Did we need Lacey?
No, she came out to be part of the test run. We're going to have her setting up trivia across town somewhere.
Don't get me wrong. We can always use Lacey. But what I mean is, I don't know why I'm so concerned about Lacey and where she lives. And every time I see her in this part of town, I'm like, is this worth your while? Are you here for a reason? Is this pleasure? Or are you being compensated? Because, Lacey, in my opinion, works very hard. And she's spread out all over the place. So when I said we don't need Lacey, she's also very sensitive, right? Isn't she? Isn't Lacey?
She can be.
Oh, my God. Known this kid since she was like 22. She's super sensitive, and I'm always worried about hurting her feelings.
Yeah, you know what? She's very sensitive, and she can also, at the same time, though, she can also be kind of a little bitchy.
That's right.
She can be a little tiger.
She came
tigress.
up. She came up with Kelly Moore, Sybil Summers, and Kelly Raspberry as female sort of. She doesn't take shit. Don't think for a minute. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm always concerned about hurting Lacey's feelings, because Lacey doesn't hold her tongue when she's upset or when she's got an opinion. And she's a smart girl, so you should listen. But, she's a girl in a man's world, right?
One of the things of Lacey, and I love her to death, she's a doer. She gets stuff done. But I'm like, you're at a different level now. So sometimes we got to pull it back a little bit and think about the money and hold the emotions a little bit in, because she will rip your head off if she don't like you.
Yeah, I think that's part of her superpower. That's what
yeah.
I do. I think it's part of her superpower. But then again, I've never had to manage her. And, you are her boss at times. So, but no, she is irreplaceable. Let's hope she's out there tomorrow at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road, 4060. Do you know how many times I said that last week before we actually did last week's trivia night? And then when I got to Beltline, I made the wrong turn. I went left instead of right at Marsh.
Yeah. No, it's, you know what? That was a lot of fun last week, and we're going to keep the fun going this week. I got a special surprise, I guess you could say. You ready for this?
Yeah. Okay.
So trivia is great.
Right.
I've got the Sunbrew trivia team. Sunbrew bikini team trivia team coming out to play and challenge. Not in bikinis, but they're going to be looking hot. They may be in bikinis. I don't know, but they're going to have a team.
I love it. See, can they beat me alone? Do you think they could beat me?
They
alone?
couldn't beat you 6 of them together, probably.
Well, that's what I want to tell.
Oh, you're alone. Yeah.
I would like to see me alone versus all of their brains in trivia.
Is it fair that the guy writing the questions, though, is the one competing against them?
Well, I wouldn't write those questions.
Okay.
And by the way, are we still going to get to use my questions?
Yeah, but we'll keep it. Worked well. It was a trial. It worked great.
Okay. All right. Very good. Because I worked hard on questions since then. That's like my new hobby. Whenever I think of a cool trivia question, I go, ooh, I got to write that one down.
Here's the deal. When I made the comments I made, it's from my past year's experience of doing trivia over and over and over. And all of a sudden it gets hard to come up with new stuff. And I figured by the week 10 or 20 or something, it may be more difficult. But maybe not.
I'm a trivia monster. I've been playing trivia since, I don't know, when was Trivia Pursuit introduced? Guys, as a kid, I was mid at everything. I played all the sports. I was the funniest guy on the bench. But let me tell you, when trivia was introduced as something and I turned out to be really good at it, forget it. I can do this for years. I can write original trivia questions.
What do you think, though? What do you think about all the other activities involved for scoring? Did you like the Pac-Man and the Dig Dug and all that?
No, I thought they took away from the trivia. I think that people want to play trivia. I think those were nice distractions. We were concerned that people weren't going to play. So we had all other things to try and get their attention, but people wanted to play. I think we got a trivia movement building here.
But let me tell you something. They were time killers as part of the reason. Like remember I said we had to kill time sometimes because we have a lot to do or we had 3 hours. But also, other than Bill, other than Bill,
Mhm.
I think everyone else there was more of a drink, have a good time kind of people.
Right.
And guess what? They don't know trivia questions, but they can play Pac-Man.
Well, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I think that I think it's a trivia night. I think if we could speed those up, and I think if we could do more rounds of trivia. I only did 3 rounds. I should do 10. I mean, I've got the questions. Let's go.
But you got to remember who you're dealing with here. I'm not trying to do the norm. I don't have a box I stay within. I try to make things different. So anything I'm doing is going to have a twist to it. And the Pac-Man or the Connect 4 or something like that adds a different element. I'm not going to do just typical trivia stuff.
Well, that's where the trivia team comes in. That's where your bikini girls and my super team that I'm building. I am building a super team to take on all other bars or all other teams or whatever.
Is Bill coming back?
I don't know. Is Bill in the chat room? I don't see Bill. Bill is, of course, the king of trivia. Bill is our trivia king. He hasn't secured his place because after one week, I can't really tell. I don't know who he was playing against, but Bill is certainly in consideration.
Oh, dude, he should be team captain. You can be the owner of the team because you can't play because you're the guy reading the questions.
No, I am a part of the super team.
Oh, you're part. Okay.
Yes. Now the super team. Yes.
Oh, to travel, the traveling, the national traveling super team. Yes, but at trivia night, our trivia night, obviously you won't be able to participate.
No, of course not, because I'm writing questions.
I forgot about the traveling trivia team.
Well, don't, because I'm telling you, that's how we're going to grow this.
Does it mean we have to have a per diem?
No. Trust me, the team that I'm going to assemble, the people I have in mind are all people with day jobs. Oh, hold on. Got to do this again. They're all people with day jobs. This is an ego thing for them. They think they're smart and they want to go in public with pretty young women and show how much smarter they are than the dumbasses they're dating. That's what this is going to be about for the guys I assemble on my team. Okay. I'm going to have surgeons. I'm going to have attorneys. I'm going to have possibly. No, I'm not going to say it. Never mind. I was going to say one former pro athlete because this person's really smart and I haven't approached them yet, but I think they might do it.
Pro athlete.
It could be fun.
Okay.
Not in this town. He lives in this town, but he is a former pro athlete.
Yeah, I like that. Man, if we could build this up, we could maybe get like who's the guy that's local from Highland Park that's Scotty Scheffler or what's his name?
Oh, the golfer?
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool to have him on the team?
Oh, yeah, but now we're thinking too big. This is why he's my partner, and this is why I follow him anywhere. He has the big dreams.
So, but here's it's realistic because you know what I know about Scotty?
What?
Is he hangs around local taverns. Inwood Tavern, he's a regular there.
Yeah, I know that.
So it's not unrealistic, and he likes to have a good drink, I understand.
Yeah, well, golfers. That's kind of the whole thing about golfing. All right, Sunbrew Brandon joins the show. Let's get it started. Tomorrow night, we're going to have trivia, so please come on out. If you missed it last week, apparently it's an ongoing thing. Right down there, you can see it scrolling, 4060 Beltline Road, the back 9 for trivia. I'm writing the questions. I'm not giving that up. I had so much fun. I didn't think that was going to be part of the gig, and then I got it, and you probably think that's the worst part of the gig. And here I am going, no, I want to do it.
I like it for the first 100 questions. After that, it's the worst part of the game for me.
Well, I'm
and tomorrow should be official.
About 1,000
official team tryout tomorrow night. I would say because we can watch people and go, "This guy's good. Let's get him on board."
Yeah, hopefully one of my team members is going to make it tomorrow. If you remember last week, everybody bailed because there was a thunder hailstorm coming, and everybody was like, "No, I'm not going to make it." I'm like, "Shit!" So maybe tomorrow's weather will.
Tomorrow's weather good? I think it's fine. I think the weather this week is great. Let me see here. Your trivia forecast for the future tomorrow, that is. We're looking let's see, Frisco. Here. Dallas. Oh yeah, we're good tomorrow, brother.
Yeah.
Woo, sunny and
not mine.
No, you're showing windy.
No. That's thunderstorms.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but my app is always wrong. I had thunderstorms. Yeah, your app is right. Okay, so
mine shows on a Wednesday. Oh, dang it! Now it's showing on Thursday, which is my work days.
Yeah, Thursday
and
it's
Friday.
Gonna rain.
God,
Thursday it's gonna rain.
Man, just days ago, this looks way different. It just kills my.
So here's what we got
money.
today. There is a 0% chance of rain. 0%. They're saying they are so sure there, which means it'll probably rain tomorrow. Just a 14% chance. Just a 14% chance. That's nothing.
And that could rain like a Mesquite, not Dallas or something.
Friday, 95% chance. Thursday, 56%. So they're really laying into the week.
Yeah,
Friday
they just killed 2 of my job nights.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate. I do follow. But tomorrow's going to be fantastic. So come one, come all. to trivia. I had so much fun. I really did.
You know what?
I didn't think I would, but I did.
As I'm sitting here, my brain's spinning, going, man, we got to get the team action. It's no fun being the only team. We have to have fierce teams, competition. We got to keep a scoreboard. We got to keep
That's how
tallies
trivia
going.
nights work when they click. You have teams and they're shit talking. And we used to do hardcore trivia in Chicago in the 90s. And it was shit talking. We gave the mic to team captains before the game started and they yelled beef about the previous week. It was so much fun. And this was before Facebook, before Twitter, before they could continue the beefs all week long. I'm telling you, man, you have a vision for this thing and let's go.
Cool. Right. It's on.
That was very exciting. All right, now down to some business. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 31st. This is a weird timing, I know, but we find ourselves yet again in another pledge week, okay? So I'm going to drop that down below. We've made every pledge week, and this week is going to be an easy one, I think. This is, let's see, where is it? Where are the numbers? Here you go. Boom, scrolling right down there. You know how it works. We need to make $50 every show every day this week, and that's it. And then we continue. You're going to cover the bill for the week. That's all we need. So $250 is the goal this week for Pledge Week. Thank you so much to all our executive producers and everybody who participates every month in Pledge Week. I look forward to this one being a little bit easier than in weeks past, but if you can help out, drop a little something. The Venmo, the Cash App, all of that stuff is right there easily. I'll be dropping it in and out throughout the show as it is Pledge Week. So thank you once again from all of us here at the Rant. That's me, pretty much. That's just me. All right.
Can I chime in real fast?
Yeah, Brandon's joining the show.
Our trivia is an indoor event, so the rain doesn't matter.
No.
Just putting that out there.
Well, yeah, but people are,
don't care.
People are very cowardly.
The people rooting for our team are troopers, and they get out under all conditions, like Mailman.
All right. All right. Hey, man. People who love trivia, my people, my trivia people, we love, this is our moment to shine. We will rain, weather. Honestly, if it's an opportunity for a dumpy guy in khaki shorts to look smart in front of a hot waitress, I'm telling you, they'll come out. We'll build this trivia night.
Yeah. Before we go any further, though, move on. You got to realize, I look at this through the eyes of my people. My people are not trivia people. Yeah. So that's why I change up things and dumb it down a little bit. You know what I mean?
What, you don't want growth?
No, I want growth. I'm just saying, like, it's good. You're coming from that the world of real trivia. Mm-hmm. I'm coming from the world of the more you drink, the less you think, the better your score is going to be, which is our motto.
All right, let's see how this works. Welcome once again. It is the Rant. Let's get started. You can, let's see here. Talk radio for normal Americans every day, Monday through Friday. We're going to talk about the Shane Wallen situation. Did you see that on SNL over the week or hear anything about? Wait, what's his name? Is that his name? Shane Wallen? So what's his name?
I don't know who you're talking about. So no, I don't know.
No, it's some country name. Hold on. What is it? I don't know. Let me see here. Waldron. Who's the guy? He was, he got in Morgan Wallen. There you go. Morgan Wallen's Saturday Night Live situation from Saturday, which is burning up the internet. Everybody's talking about that. We're also going to talk about Bill Maher, another thing that a lot of people are talking about. Bill Maher has accepted an invitation to go to the White House to sit and have a private dinner with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Now, that sounds like something that probably shouldn't be all that interesting, but Bill Maher and Donald Trump have been incredibly public and vocal haters of one another for years. This is like Rosie O'Donnell. She's in Ireland. She won't do it. Bill Maher's going to go to the White House and he's going to sit down after years of shit talk. I mean, we're talking decades. I mean, going all the way back to Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher had a target on Donald Trump. So this is very interesting. It was set up by Kid Rock. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about the concern among Bill Maher fans that, what is he going to suck up now? Well, if you watch the show on Friday night, I mean, he's supposed to be going there. Is it the 3rd, April 3rd? And this was the last show before he went to the White House. All right, we're gonna see how awkward this dinner is going to be after some of the things that he said. Also, Prince Andrew's accuser, the whole Epstein Island stuff. Virginia Giuffre. Are you familiar with this girl, Brandon?
Yes, I am.
Virginia Giuffre. She's got a nice settlement from the royal family, and she was the girl that Jeffrey Epstein apparently enlisted to have sex for $15,000 with Prince Andrew. Well, son of brother of King Charles. Let's put it that way.
I dated a girl that used to date him at one time in my life.
Prince Andrew?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was like a Miss Hawaiian Tropics International model.
Wait a second. You're Eskimo cousins with Prince Andrew? Nobody can beat that. Nobody except maybe Jeffrey Epstein. But that's...
I don't want to say her name, but she was like Miss International Hawaiian Tropics. And they used to have a big following. And there's pictures of her with him and the book I have, I guess you'd say. They dated for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that. Brandon, Eskimo cousins.
I'm also with George Clooney.
What?
Yeah. I've got a list.
I don't know who my greatest Eskimo cousin is. I don't know. I don't think I have anybody in that level. That's pretty good. Mike Madonna. I know Mike Madonna and I share one.
That's cool. That's good. Both of them once. That's pretty badass.
That's pretty good. Who else? Is there anybody? I don't know. Anyway, that's a good one. Look at him. Look at that. That's he's Eskimo cousins with Prince Andrew. All right, so I buried the lead. She's gonna die. Virginia Giuffre is apparently gonna die. She's got renal failure. She's in the hospital. She was hit by a bus.
What?
Well, I don't want to get all the conspiracy theorists' antennas up, but Virginia Giuffre was hit by a bus and is now going to die of renal failure. She's got like 48 hours or some shit. Like, we'll get into
God.
We'll get into that story. That's a weird one, too.
Oh, that's exciting.
We're also going to talk a little football because we like to do stuff for the boys. The tush push. I want to get into a conversation about the tush push. That's, of course, the play mastered by the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of other teams have tried the tush push. They can't do it with the same effectiveness. Sean McVay, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, has a very hypocritical view of that, and we'll get involved in that story as well. Did you hear this story? This was on, I always take pride when I do stories during the week, and then you see on Saturday Night Live, you see them do the same story. I mean, I like that. It's like, that's cool. People who listen to my show knew that story, and now they get the reference. Anyway, it's usually an obscure story. Here's one that got past me coming from our own backyard in Houston. They did this joke on Saturday Night Live about teen girls in Houston who tried to murder their mom because she turned off the Wi-Fi. Did you hear about this?
No.
Oh, the details are insane. I also got some incredibly insane behavior coming out of Florida, I think. Why wouldn't it be Florida?
God, that makes the Menendez brothers look like saints.
Yeah, no, we'll get into the details on that one. And the chief of police down there, I think it's Florida, might be Georgia. Who can tell these days? He got fired. Wait till you hear what he got fired for. How did this guy become chief of police? That's what I want to know. And also, crazy video from the Star up there in Frisco. There was a big car accident up there. Did you see this?
I did not. I missed everything this weekend. I was busy.
Somebody, and it looks like it happened in the players' parking lot because there were supercars strewn about the Star. We've got video of it. I mean, there are Porsches. There is a Cybertruck. Hey, Cybertruck owners. And we were just hanging with a Cybertruck.
We have one out
owner.
front, right? We have one out front.
One of our artists is a Cybertruck driver. That Cybertruck got absolutely ripped in half by a car accident in a parking lot. So how fast could the car have been going?
Do you have video of this?
We've got some video of the aftermath.
Awesome.
We don't have aftermath of the actual. So we're going to show that as well. Plus, Hulk Hogan, the man, legend. Terry? What Bollea?
Something like that.
Terry Bollea, something like that. Hulk Hogan is in the news. He's responding to that crazy video that his ex-wife, his horrible ex-wife. All right, we're going to get into this whole mess. He's responding with his own video, so we've got some Hulkamania coming your way.
I got to tell you, this is going to be a great show. You've got me. I'm sitting here and I had no idea about this stuff. Right. I'm excited to hear a lot
of this stuff. Well, I'm glad you're here, and Brandon will be with us the entire show. He'll be hanging out with us on this pledge week. So don't forget, tip the show, help us out if you can. Let's get started. All right, we start each and every show out with a little bit of a gander at what this day is represented in the past. We call it the first 3 quarters. The first one, we start out a little look at history, antecedently on this day. Quarter 2 is birthdays. Go through some birthdays of some celebrities, and, we decide whether or not we like them or not. Quarter 3, deads, people who died on this day. So if you're ready, let's go. It is the 31st day of the year of our Lord, 2025. Did you know? 91 days have already passed in this calendar year. 275 remain. So get those New Year's Eve plans started. Quarter one. Here we go. Antecedently on this day. Let me get a drink. Where's my drink? That's why I'm thirsty. I'm like, why haven't I been drinking? It's because my drink is in a weird spot.
Speaking of drinks, I want to thank Rush Rhino, our official sponsor of the show. Or I'm sorry, Rhino Rush, nootropic. That's it.
We like them, but they ain't paying me anything. So they ain't an official sponsor. What they are is something I'm choosing to talk about because I like it.
You know me. I got to throw the plug in there.
Yeah, it's pledge week here. I don't want people getting the wrong idea. Look, we're trying, folks. We're trying to eliminate this kind of thing. But this stuff, by the way, I gave the sports bras guys some of this. So they're gonna be popping it now on their show, their podcast as well.
Hey, you know what? Let's give out another case this week for anyone that shows up from the show.
Of the nootropic?
Yeah, we'll give out a case to every player from the show. Absolutely.
Right, Rush. How do I get it open? I want to do a hit.
They are difficult. All those things are difficult to open up.
FDA, stupid regulations.
They got the little blister pack, or not blister packs, shrink wrap labels on there. You got to tear apart, like all of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, entering the chat room, the king of trivia, Bill. He's going to try and defend his title off against any of you guys. I think Peter's probably got a shot at taking it down. Peter seems like a pretty smart guy, but I don't know if Peter's committed to coming tomorrow or not. All right, let me take a little bit of this. Here we go.
I'm going to use my phone to try to watch the comments. Last week I missed them all.
I don't do the whole bottle. Are you supposed to do the whole bottle? I don't like to do the whole bottle.
You know,
I like this.
read the back of the instructions. I don't know.
Directions. Oh, please.
I think everyone does a full bottle. I do about a half, though. I never do the full bottle of anything.
Nobody's reading directions.
I think most people just chug it down.
Ooh, I like to chase it with a little something.
I'd never heard of nootropic, but apparently it's a big buzzword that everyone else has heard about.
I'm a fat guy. It sounds like a nutrition thing. I'm not really up on it.
I think it's just a new buzzword for something, maybe something to do with mushrooms, I was told, which got me interested, you know.
Speaking of mushrooms, antecedently on this day in the year 1889, the Eiffel Tower officially opened. The Eiffel Tower. You ever seen the Eiffel Tower in real? You ever been to Paris?
No, but how's that tied to mushrooms?
That's not. I was just looking.
I love the segue. Go ahead.
The Eiffel Tower. I don't understand it. You know, I have my list of things that are overrated in American culture, individuals. I always question how Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, and Bob Hope became these superstars that they are with the obvious limitations in their talent. But the Eiffel Tower is another one, man. The Eiffel Tower is another one of these things where I think people are like, oh, you must see it. And well, I grew up with power lines, power towers in the back of my house. They look very similar. I don't know how impressed I'm going to be. I grew up in a city with the Sears Tower, right? I grew up going to the top of that. The Eiffel Tower, it looks like power lines. We got a green building in Dallas that kicks the Eiffel Tower's ass as far as how cool it looks. So Eiffel Tower, I think, is overrated.
Yeah. I mean, it's a landmark. People dig it. It's a reason to go there.
But it's a landmark because of programming, because we've been told it's spectacular.
Right.
And then you see it and you're like, yeah, it looks.
Well, when was it built? What years?
Well, it opened on this day in 1889.
So back then, that was a big deal.
So it should be covered in cell phone towers, right? Let's get real. Does the Eiffel Tower have? Are they making money off the Eiffel Tower with cell phone placements? I'm wondering. Antecedently on this day in 1918, daylight savings time goes into effect for the very first time. Looks like it might be going away. Daylight savings time. People don't like it.
How do you feel about that?
I don't care. It's just a thing. It's a thing that smarter people than me thought was a good idea. So it doesn't affect me. I'll tell you what. I used to love it when I was going to bars. You know, when you spring ahead and you get the extra hour and you're an idiot 22-year-old and you're like, we can drink for another hour. You know, that kind
like for one day out of the year, it matters. But for me, it matters in the fact that we get more light, which helps keep it warmer, which means bike nights can happen easier for me.
Yeah.
There's that part. In business, when the sun's out, there's more energy coming through our bodies. Therefore, people are out doing more. So I look at it from a business standpoint.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that we ought to make mention of this because, hold on. Wait a second, I did it wrong. We ought to make mention of this because you came in here and you told me some really neat breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, nominated for the Texas BMX Hall of Fame, this guy right here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Look at him.
In my world, it's cool.
Move your mic. Your mic is right in front of your face. People can't see
there we go.
Your glowing cheeks. Look at the pride there. Nominated for the Texas BMX Hall of Fame. How did that come about?
Somebody nominated me. I still have to send in my information so they have it all validated, and then there's a vote. But I'm just honored to be part of this, to be nominated.
There you go. That's what you're supposed to say. It's an honor to be nominated. All right, let's get back into antecedently on this day. We don't care about daylight saving. I don't care. You do. You have a good reason. Whatever. Farmers. Is it for farmers? Who knows? We pay farmers not to grow crops. Why are we still adhering to these crazy? I don't care. Whatever smarter people decide to do, I'll be fine with.
That's the way I look at it too. But what's wonderful is like, who thought of it to begin with, and then got the whole world to participate, or at least America to participate. I mean,
I think it's just America, or it would affect the whole world, though. I don't know, man. All right, moving on. On this day, antecedently in the year 1930, the Motion Picture Production Code is instituted, imposing strict guidelines on the treatment of sex, crime, religion, and violence in film. In the U.S., this would remain in effect for the next 38 years. This is why we have no idea what Betty Davis's boobs look like. This is why there was no nudity in any of those old-timey films. Because of this, artists were limited. You don't think that Katharine Hepburn would have done a sex scene with Cary Grant? Absolutely. Yeah. People would have seen that, but, they couldn't. And so in 1930, this rule went into effect. It was replaced in 1968. Well, what is 38 years later? Yeah, look at that. I did it right. 1968. It was replaced in 1968 by the rating system that we now know, which allows for some nudity and, that kind of thing. Antecedently on this day in 1968, American President Lyndon Baines Johnson said the most important thing that he would ever say as president of the United States. It was a crucial moment here in the United States. Vietnam War, protests in the streets. Boy, they thought we were as divided as we could ever be. Ha! That was funny. Look at us now, all together. Lyndon Baines Johnson went on national TV and shocked the world when he said, "I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president. I shall not seek, nor shall I accept." That is crazy. That freaked people out. That sent the Democratic Party of 1968 into an absolute tailspin. It's how we got RFK. It's how we got McGovern. It's how we got all of that stuff. But most importantly, it's how we got Nixon.
As our current president's trying to figure out how to get a third term.
Exactly. Exactly. Lyndon Baines Johnson, man, if you're a Texan and you're not proud of that dude and the way he represented Texas and the United States at one of the most crucial times in American history, then you don't know your history. Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Hey, Pugs, you're not from Texas, but just as a kid, we took a field trip to his ranch.
Oh, yeah?
And then Lady Bird may or may not have been still alive, but there was a point where his ranch was like you could do field trips to it.
I bet you still could. I bet it's probably, is it his museum? I bet it's probably his presidential museum.
To be honest with you, other than the fact I got a day off from school, I could care less at the time in my life.
He was, if you know the history and the mannerisms and the characterizations, he was also the coolest president. He was just a fucking good old boy who was trying to do the right thing. Yeah, he worked in some pretty polluted waters coming through Texas politics. But as far as having to navigate those waters, Lyndon Baines Johnson carried himself like a real statesman. I think he was a good president.
He's got a great highway also.
Yeah, sure. We got a whole bunch of highways named after great Texas politicians here. On this day, antecedently, we'll end with this, 1995. Selena is murdered by her fan club president, Yolanda Saldivar, at a Days Inn in Corpus Christi, Texas. So I got to tell a quick story about this, and then I want to ask you. When this happened, when Selena died, I remember I was producing a morning show and I had gotten off the air and it was probably about 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the morning. And I had run to the 7-Eleven and the 7-Eleven was hurriedly restocking the shelves with a People magazine special edition that had been released in like 24 hours that simply had Selena on the cover. And they were putting these up and there were people waiting to buy it in Chicago. And I thought to myself, who the hell is Selena? And I'm wondering, in Texas, was it different?
Yeah. So it's funny you're saying this. First of all, by the way, I did a Selena tribute contest last week. Just in fact, I didn't know that it was a big deal still. I did a whole Selena lip syncing contest. I didn't know that like there's a whole thing about her because some little girl that was like 7 years old showed up in a whole Selena outfit and had the routine down.
So she is iconic.
Oh,
and I
big
would say,
time.
Especially in Texas, Mexico.
But when it happened, they had in Texas, the people had their windows like wrote Selena like in the shoe polish.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, who is that? Because her American songs didn't come out till 2 months after her death. So I had no clue who Selena was, but it was a big deal. Every window you saw going down the highway said Selena. And her songs in the that were English came out 2 months after her death, and she had some big hits, major songs.
So even before she had died, you as a kid in Texas didn't, as a white kid in Texas,
yeah, because
no
she's Tejano.
Right?
Can't say it right.
Tejano.
Yeah, and I had never heard of her.
I'd never heard of Tejano until the conversation surrounding her death. Hold on, let's pull her up. I don't even know what she looks like. Like if I picture Selena, I'm picturing Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, I don't think that's fair.
Some of her pictures, she looks kind of a little bit bigger, more rounded, and then other pictures, she looks more like J-Lo. Man, she's a beautiful lady, but you can tell she went from like kind of transformed. She had her own boutique. She had like a clothing, nail salon, massage. She had 2 of them actually, and she was a kind of a Spanish Madonna for her time.
Yeah,
or a Spanish J-Lo, which.
Okay,
J-Lo's
so Selena Gomez is named after her. Wow,
I suppose
I just read that.
I suppose there's a lot of people named after her. It was one of the top names. Man, there's so many facts about her, but the lady that killed her still says to this day that it was an accident, and she's up for parole, of course, and all that. She'll get denied, but they're like, she's safer in jail than she's out on the streets. That lady will probably get murdered out on the streets.
I swear to God, she's an icon. I have no frame of reference for who Selena was. I didn't even see the Jennifer Lopez movie, but when I think of Selena, I think of Jennifer Lopez.
About 2 years ago, maybe 3, there was a Netflix series or Hulu series or something about her. It was really interesting. And there should be more of those to come, because I think they did like a full season, and it was definitely left open to add more to it.
All right. On this day in 1995, Selena is murdered by her fan club president, Yolanda Saldivar. All right, let's go. Birthdays. Talk about some people having birthdays on this day. Bunham. They say it's their birthday. I don't know for sure, but we're going to go with these published reports. Born on this day in 1943. So this is a guy whose career I've watched like his entire, and it wasn't really until the last 15 years, and this happens with these older actors, wasn't until the last 15 years where he was truly elevated to one of the greats, and that is happy birthday, Christopher Walken.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken has been amazing in everything throughout the 1970s, but he was never in the same category with his co-stars in 70s films like De Niro, Pacino, Hackman, Dustin Hoffman. You know, there was always that next level of admired and respected actors, John Voight, Harvey Keitel, Christopher Walken. So to see Christopher Walken now in his older age get kind of a Betty White treatment, where suddenly they're being elevated as these iconic presences in American culture. Good for him. Happy birthday, Christopher Walken. Born on this day in 1943. Can you do a Christopher Walken impression?
No, I cannot.
No, everybody else can. I can't either. I'm not even going to try. Born on this day in 1945. All right, hold on now. Hold on. So I want to spend a moment here, give you a little context. Brandon, are you familiar with my get your bag theory?
No.
Okay, so my get your bag theory is this. Known amount of money that can make you happy and that you could live the rest of your life carefree and a pleasant human. Know what that number is, get your bag, and then stop fucking grinding. Stop being an asshole to everybody in your universe because you're trying to nickel and dime another fucking million or whatever. Get your bag. And I have real respect for people who get their bag and then are like, this guy, born on this day in 1945, is one of the first to truly get his bag and do it right. Gabe Kaplan. Gabe Kaplan was one of the biggest stars in American television in the 1970s. They wanted him. You remember Welcome Back, Kotter? Mr. Kotter. Gabe Kaplan walked away from entertainment in 1980 with his bag, and you know what he said? I got enough money to just hang out in Vegas and play poker for the rest of my life. So that's what I'm going to do.
He
fuck
became
your movies. Fuck your Hollywood.
Major poker player.
Yeah. I don't know if he's still alive, though. But that always seemed really cool to me because I'd see him in interviews and stuff. And, every once in a while, it was always on ESPN2, some poker tournament. Because he never did Tonight Show. He never did any of that stuff. And he would just say, yeah. He's like,
other than Welcome Back Carter, what did he do, though?
Oh, he did a lot of things. He did a Tony Award-winning Broadway show, One Man as Groucho in the 1970s. That was like really good. He did a whole bunch of movies. Like ABC really capitalized him, especially made-for-TV movies in the 1970s.
Wasn't he in a basketball movie of some sort? He was a coach or something?
Yeah. Okay, so here, let's look at Gabe Kaplan. Let's see what it is that he did, because I think
that was John Travolta's kind of breakout role, right? It was Welcome Back Carter?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. All right, so here, let's see. Gabe Kaplan. He's an American actor, comedian, and professional poker player. See, he got out when he was young enough where he is now known career-wise as a poker player.
Yeah. Is he alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's 80 years old, probably still sitting at a poker table somewhere.
His wife was hot on Welcome Back Carter. Remember her?
Oh, yeah, Marsha Strassman. Yeah. Julie Cotter.
God, I don't know how you remember that stuff.
Trivia. You think?
Even if I hear it, I'm not gonna remember it. But remember when Horseshack fought Screech in boxing, like the celebrity boxing matches?
No, but I remember when Horseshack had to fight Carvelli.
Who's Carvelli?
Carvelli said, you don't remember Kelly Carvelli? Carvelli was the bully from the other school who used to come and try and start fights with the
okay. I
think he had a little hype man who, like, Carvelli would show up and go, "What are you guys doing here?" And then the hype man would go, "Carvelli said, what are you guys doing here?" Just repeat everything.
Yeah.
Carvelli. All right, let's see here. He turned the Groucho Broadway thing into a TV movie in 82. He had a series between 81 and 83 after Welcome Back Kotter called Lewis and Clark, which I don't remember. He did a bunch of movies. He did Nobody's Perfect. He did Fast Break. That's the one. Fast Break, where he played the high school basketball coach. Yeah, Fast Break. He didn't do anything really between 84 and 2001. And then he started doing voice work for BoJack Horseman, which he probably just wanted to do because he thought it was a cool series. So there you go. That's the guy who got his bag, the great Gabe Kaplan, born on this day in 1945. Born on this day in 1948, Rhea Perlman. Of course, Rhea Perlman, she played Carla on Taxi. She was on Taxi too. Carla, not as a regular, but she appeared on Taxi. Cheers. Thank you. There you go. You got it. Carla on Cheers. Rhea Perlman. Married. I love the whole story of Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito. Did you get that?
Yeah, and they look like they're made for each other in this scenario.
Look, man, right? See, Danny DeVito. Here's what I love about Danny DeVito, and even Rhea Perlman when she was Carla. They were both in, like, okay, so they're not quintessential Hollywood Central casting leading men and women, right? They look like regular people, if we're being honest. That's why we love Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman. When they were stars, they could have outkicked their coverage, both of them. Like Danny DeVito could have been with Susan Anton in 1980. You know what I mean? Like Dudley Moore was. And Rhea Perlman, same thing. Maybe not a celebrity, but the hottest bartender in Hollywood probably would have been hooking up with, the star of Cheers in 19. So they could have outkicked their coverage, but they seem like they legitimately fell in love. And why I say I love that story is because, it goes all the way back to Taxi. I think they met on the set of Taxi when she was like an extra or some sort of side character for one episode or whatever. And then, I just love it. And then they were together and they had kids and then they got divorced.
You remember
normal people.
She had a spinoff from Cheers, remember, where she married the dude that was the funny guy that was her. She had a husband.
Yeah, you're talking about the Tortellis?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't her spinoff. That was her ex-husband.
Oh, he had the hot blonde wife.
Yeah.
That's right. You're right.
Who was? Come on, see, you're gonna trivia, baby. That's all right. This is gonna be a question.
I don't remember.
Who was the hot wife on the Tortelli? I couldn't even do that because people wouldn't even know the Tortelli. It's Jean Kasem, Casey Kasem's wife.
Really?
The crazy hot blonde.
She was hot, stupid but hot.
And she was almost doing kind of a Peg Bundy kind of thing.
I loved his character. I loved her.
Nick Tortelli.
Yeah. Oh God, I loved him.
That was funny. The other Carla had a lot of great characters. I loved Eddie LeBeau. her hockey player boyfriend.
Yes.
Oh my God, Eddie LeBeau was funny.
Yeah.
That guy, by the way, is a American Radio Hall of Famer. That's
Really?
Jay Thomas, who's unfortunately no longer with us. But he was an amazing morning DJ in New Orleans, and then got nationally syndicated. And then they gave him Eddie LeBeau, and he stopped doing radio, and he just became Eddie LeBeau. Anyway, he's dead now. But anyway, Gabe Kaplan, he got his bag, and I appreciate that. And Rhea Perlman, she found love, and we appreciate that. Okay. Born on this day, 1955, Angus Young. You know who Angus Young is?
Is he the kid actor?
No. I think that's Angus McFadden. Is that who you're thinking of? Angus Young is the guitar player for, although it's funny you say the young kid, because he performs in a schoolboy outfit.
Oh, he's the lead singer of AC/DC.
No, he's lead guitar player, founding member.
Something.
Yeah. Angus.
He's the one you think of, though.
Yeah. And you said the kid, and I'm like, no. And then I'm like, but wait, yeah, kind of. I can see why you think that. Angus Young, born on this day in 1955, AC/DC, really cool. We love them. Good for them. Born on this day, 1971. This is going to be the last one because millennials and Gen Zers, you guys really disappoint on this birthday. There ain't nobody interesting. Here's the last one. Born in 1971, Ewan McGregor. Any thoughts on Ewan McGregor?
No, I'm trying to think who. I know the name. Who was he?
Obi-Wan in the new Star Wars movies.
I don't watch the new Star Wars.
He's young Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor. He was also in Train Spotting. He fell in a toilet.
Okay, I remember that now.
Dropped his crack in a toilet and went toilet diving. That was awesome. Train Spotting. My 15-year-old son wants to watch Train Spotting. I'm like, nah. He's too curious about things. Yeah, and he'll be trying heroin next week. You know,
don't need all that.
I don't think so. All right, that's going to do it for birthdays, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the dead, the people who died on this day quickly. Let's see here. Only a couple. We're going to decide whether or not they went to heaven or to hell. Here we go. Dead on this day, 1931. Putting them in heaven. Newt Rockney. You know I love my Newt Rockney.
My middle name. I'm named after Newt Rockney. My name is Brandon Newt Shaw. It's spelled different though, but it's
get out.
My dad's nickname was Newt after Newt Rockney.
How are you not a Notre Dame fan?
I didn't even know. I just didn't care.
You don't even know who Newt Rockney is?
I know who he is. Yeah.
Okay, Brandon, your name. Who's Newt Rockney? Tell me.
He was the coach, and he was like, do one for. He was like a motivational coach speaker or something. He would rile their fans up. I don't know. I mean, that's all I know.
Yes. One of the great players coaches of all time. I don't know.
Well, I know that part.
I don't know if he knew anything about strategy, but he whipped his teams into frenzies with incredible speeches and an unbelievable stable of talent. Yes, he's one of the great.
The speeches, though, I was aware of that part.
Yeah. All right, Newt Rockney. I'm putting him in heaven because. I mean, you know, I'm a little bit biased. I'm a Notre Dame guy. Dead on this day in 1980, Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens. You know who Jesse Owens is?
Athlete, track superstar.
Jesse Owens, badass. Jesse Owens is the American sprinter who went to Hitler's Olympics and basically destroyed all the white power people.
What did he do? What did he do on the podium? Did he do something?
No, you're thinking of Tommy and Carlos. Tommy Carlos. You're thinking of 68 in Mexico City with the white power or the black power salute.
Okay,
the black
that's
gloves.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Juan No, I get it. Don't care. Well, do care. Great, cool. Truth to power. I'm all about that. Love it. But can't remember their names. No, Jesse Owens was a black American sprinter who went to Hitler's Olympics. And Hitler was talking about the superiority of white people and all that kind of stuff. And Jesse Owens went there and smoked them all. He just boat raced them. I mean, if you ever saw the footage of it, it's like, what? It's like in the NFL. It'd be like a cornerback foot racing an offensive center. You know? Yeah. It's like, what is going on here? So Jesse Owens goes to heaven. Great American. There was really big propaganda-wise for us. We love Jesse Owens. What Americans can do. Dead on this day in 1993, Brandon Lee.
I got a story.
You got a Brandon Lee story.
Brandon Lee's best friend.
Hold on. First, let me tell people, Brandon Lee is the son of Bruce Lee. He was killed on the set of The Crow, a movie franchise that he was looking like he was going to be a big star and a huge part of Hollywood for years to come. Go ahead, your story.
Now I explain the post I saw today. See that post right there? That's one of my good friends. So Bill Allen was Crew Jones in the movie Rad.
Okay.
Bill Allen was best friends with Brandon Lee. Bill Allen, Crew Jones from Rad, was at the hospital and had to let Brandon Lee's girlfriend, I believe, know that he's passed. And they're doing a documentary about Brandon Lee that's been working on for a couple of years. And my buddy's in the documentary, a big part of it. And somewhere he has a Bruce Lee belt buckle that also is a weapon from Bruce Lee. But yeah, Brandon Lee and Bill Allen, my buddy, were best friends.
Brandon Lee, and probably because of the first of all, if he had been killed filming a rom-com, maybe this wouldn't have stuck. But because he was filming a movie about the occult and a movie about resurrection and, you know, all of that kind of thing, for him to actually die while making it has caused, my son is 15 years old, has caused even kids today to elevate Brandon Lee to a level of, like, my son thinks Brandon Lee is as big a movie star as Dustin Hoffman.
Let me add one more element to this.
Only because of his the cultural awareness among kids. I mean, I guess they fall into YouTube holes, and you know.
I didn't know the kids knew who he was. But, he's also got a sister, and this is by coincidence because we were born in the same time period. But his sister's name is Shannon. My sister's name is Shannon. So there's Brandon and Shannon, and I'm a Brandon and Shannon also situation.
Look at that. And you're named after Nick Rockney, but doesn't know shit about him. There you go. All right. Sunbrew Brandon joins the show. We're going to put Brandon Lee in heaven because that's a terrible thing. And he seemed like a good dude. And why not? That's it. Dead on this day in 2019. Here's a big one. Nipsey Hussle, American rapper. He was a big part of the community there in South Central Los Angeles. He died shot out in front of his clothing store. He was in the parking lot getting in his car. Dude rolls up on him, and they start beefing. It's believed now that they were beefing somehow about the guy who shot Nipsey Hussle, the hip-hop star and impresario of South Central. The guy who shot him was being accused by others of talking to the police about something, about somebody else. Apparently, that's what the confrontation between Nipsey Hussle and the guy who was convicted of shooting and killing him. Do you know anything about Nipsey Hussle? Anything?
I know he helped out the community quite a bit. I believe his store was based on the community that he was producing. I don't know much beyond that.
I don't know much about the music, but all the stuff that I've read, and, you know, look, he's a kid from the streets who was given an opportunity and broke through, and he took that opportunity and he put it right back into making his community better. So don't come at me with, he'd been arrested 10 times before he was 18. Yeah, he was a gangbanger. He was a 12-year-old gangbanger in South Central who got out and then decided to fix things. So fuck you, right? That's usually what you hear from people.
Right. What's crazy about, is that the last dead person we're talking about?
Yeah, he's it.
So on the topic of rappers getting killed, what's crazy is that this guy, Old Yeller or something in Frisco, or he lived in Frisco in a mansion. He just got bonded out of jail last week for, like, it was a $2 million bond. They dropped it down to $750,000. I'd never heard of this guy. But yeah, he's living in a mansion. He's from Dallas, and the guy he killed was like Mo 3 or Mo something. He killed him on the bridge on I-35. This is like 5 years ago. Wow. In broad daylight, the guy get out and they have the video. You see it. Just shoots the guy down. I'm like, these guys are like apparently big deals, and I've never heard them. They're local.
Dude, I haven't been familiar with a dead rapper in 15 years. Every time one of these guys gets shot is the first time I've ever heard of them.
I was thinking about Nipsey Hussle. I mean,
I was not familiar with him.
No, I'm so disconnected from the current rap world. I met Drake one time in the elevator. We were going to let him in, but I never heard of Drake at the time. This is 2009. He was just hitting big, and every girl knew who he was. And so we went downstairs to get him in at the W Hotel for NBA All-Stars in town. You were living here at that time.
Yeah, and that was when I was at the Mosaic, and it was a madhouse. And Kim Kardashian rented out the restaurant in our main floor, and I couldn't walk my dog because the Kardashians were filming.
My sponsors got me a hotel room with playing skills and a guy named Duro who lived in your building, by the way. Duro used to live where the Mosaic.
Oh yeah,
and
that was a cool ass building.
He had a new song called Inside Outside something cream paint job. I don't know, something about a paint job, but a big hit. But they got us a room at the W Hotel. Our entire room was wrapped wall to wall with our logos.
Do you remember when the car exploded on Main Street?
No.
Oh my God. There was a car bombing during NBA All-Star Weekend in Dallas on Main Street. Yeah. I lived there. I was watching it.
That was, we had the Super Bowl and that at the same time period. It was so, and I was part of all that. It was so cool.
Do you remember the weather too? The weather. It was,
for Super Bowl, yes.
No, for NBA All-Star Weekend, there was a blizzard.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was really cold and like shitty outside. And
I don't recall that. But you remember the snowstorm for the Super Bowl? We had I mean, tons of snow. I mean,
you know what? I might be mixing up the two memories.
I think you are,
maybe
because
the snowstorm was the.
I don't know how much, but like it was up to my lower than my knee, but pretty high. And it just came to town, just blizzard the whole place. I had my house rented out for some NFL football player for like a lot of money, and they didn't show up because of the storm. I did an event downtown at Fair Park, and it was just me and like Chuck Norris and Troy Aikman and my girls. Nobody showed up, and it was they spent millions. They lost millions. It was crazy.
Well, you got paid. That's all
I was worried about we get paid, but we did get paid. Yeah.
Sunbrew Brandon joins the show as we now transition to the just regular talk portion. We're going to get into all of those news stories that we teased there at the top of the show. I do want to talk about one thing off the break here. So on Friday, I had a really cool opportunity to, I told you about it, how excited I was to go out there and see the Hardline, the real Hardline, Grego and Mike Reiner together. We went to a place, like I'm a part of them, they were doing the show from Hearsay in the Choctaw Stadium there, which is the old baseball stadium, which is the old Rangers baseball stadium.
Go Choctaws.
Yeah. Have you been out there have you done any events at Choctaw Stadium with, all of the renovations they've done? And
I have not.
It's amazing. And, you don't want to tear that building down. That is a gorgeous building. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. It meshes perfectly with all the other things that are going on there. Yeah. On Friday night, I was there at a restaurant called Hearsay. And it is one of the nicest look, they're not advertisers or anything like that. I was just watching a podcast recording. I was just watching Mike Reiner and Grego do a live podcast recording from Hearsay in Arlington in the Choctaw Stadium. It was unbelievable. It was so freaking nice. I mean, they brought out food. This ain't for the poors. This is not a place for the poors. This is a place for the people who have private suites. I would say, you're going to a ball game. It's right across the street from the new stadium. You sit there, they fed me endless lamb shanks and lobster tails.
Wow.
The entire bar. They're like, you guys should try this now. You guys should try this now. Dude, the old days of radio. I mean, I haven't been treated like that. I eat off the McDonald's value menu. I was taking an entire lobster tail and wrapping it in a tortilla and eating it like a taco. It was so good. It's fancy. It's very, very fancy.
I love this kind of events, man.
Check it out online. Seriously, if you think I'm crazy, just Google the pictures. I'm not telling you to go there. I'm telling you it's probably going to be really expensive, but holy shit, if you have the means, this is the place to go to in Arlington. This place. Oh, and here's the coolest thing, man. So on Friday night, they have, like all of these fancy places. They have a cigar room and a cigar lockers, and you can have your own. That's the fancy.
This is
rich
in
guy
the stadium,
stuff.
right?
In the stadium.
Okay.
It's the old. Whatever the old
Texas Rangers Stadium.
Fancy, yes, but in the outfield at the old Texas Ranger Stadium, you used to see this thing that looked like a sports bar or something.
Like a Bennigan's or TGI Fridays.
Right.
There. Yeah.
No. Well, that's what this is now. They flipped it. And now their smokers patio for their cigar lounge overlooks the stadium. And I'll give you an example. There was a football game, a XFL game or whatever played there on Sunday that I watched on Fox. I was watching the game. That was happening on Friday. I'm out there on the smokers patio talking to my son on the phone, and I'm watching that team practice. It was so cool. I'm like, holy shit. And meanwhile, there's a Rangers game going on across the street. I can hear the crowd. It's amazing. It is amazing. And here's what I want to say. I've spent a lot of my time here in Texas making fun of Arlington. I have made fun of JD, my buddy, who we call the King of Arlington, who I'd love to get in the seat at some point here. JD or Arlington to me, I should say, not JD, but Arlington to me always seemed like the suburb that meth built. It always felt like, a bunch of meth heads in trailer parks.
The surrounding area of the stadium used to be really bad.
Yeah. It did.
Probably might still be. I don't know.
It did used to be really bad. It's not anymore, man. It is all business. It is all big name brand business. The actual area where the ballparks are, where it's anchored, I would say, I don't know, what is that, to the southwest, anchored to the southwest by AT&T Stadium. Then you've got Globe Life field there. And in between, you've got the Lowe's entertainment complex and all the bars and all the restaurants. And what they're doing with Choctaw, which is across the street from Globe Life, is they're not going to tear it down because, again, it's a beautiful building and they're still going to do football and soccer and if concerts and all that in there. They're turning it into the most kick-ass mall.
Oh, really?
They're putting anchor stores.
That's like interesting because a mall.
They've got like a Tiffany's moving in there. I mean, it is going to be like it's going to be one of these elite South Park Center type malls catering to. They got monorails coming. They are insane.
You nailed it. It's got Las Vegas vibes.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. I've said that before. I left the White Sox Rangers game 2 seasons ago with my son, and I stood on the corner out in front of Globe Life Field looking at all of the lights, and I said, this is Times Square. This is like Times Square in New York City. I can't believe that Arlington has transformed themselves into something.
And it's going to have a monorail?
Let me talk about this. So I want to spend a moment here again. By the way, it was so much fun, man. I went out there to watch Mike and Grego do their thing because I am, as many of us are, just incredible fans of the old hardline and what those two can do chemistry wise. So I went out there just to be a fan, and it turns out that Groobs, who everybody knows, of course, Groobs had to leave. And so they asked me to take over for Groobs as like the third man. I was just in the crowd. I had some drinks in front of me. I was just watching. And so I find myself as an old broadcaster getting to have one of these bucket list type things. I got to play the third voice between Mike Reiner and Grego in front of a crowd of people at what, it was a podcast, but it may as well have been an old hardline remote. It was just such an amazing experience. So thank you so much for those guys for just considering me at all for anything. When people do, Brandon, what you do, but they do it at a much higher level and they're much more widely regarded than you are. When those people like look at you and go, I love what you do, man, that means something. That does. So I love those guys. And thank you so much. Now, when I was out there, we had a guest. They had a guest on the show. I spend a lot of time talking about how I hate politicians. I hate this. I hate that. I keep telling you, look, if I see somebody that I like, if I see somebody that I think you people ought to maybe pay attention to, I'm going to mention it to you. Jim Ross, the mayor of Arlington, is a baller of a dude. I'm sitting there having drinks with him after he does this interview with Mike Reiner and Grego and all of that. And I was really impressed because we started to get into some real questions about Arlington and Arlington's economic growth and what the plans are. And this guy, it was like he was taking batting. I was asking some pretty rough questions and he's just bam, bam. He's just swinging them. And when the interview ended, we cut the mics, Mike Reiner turned to me and went, wow. And I go, that dude is not a politician. And we were like, whoa. So I took it upon myself to go and have a little drink with them and say hello. And first thing I said to him was, I go, you're running for governor. And he goes, nah. He's like, this is the end of the line for me. He's a businessman who was very successful in restaurants and hotels in Fort Worth and Arlington. He was also an incredibly well-established lawyer. He ran his own law firm. Okay. Retired from both of those things and decided that he's going to stick around. He's going to be mayor. Let's see. I want to turn my hometown Arlington into something. And he's been there, and the growth and the things that he has coming, the things that he foresees, monorails. He wants to build. How about sky taxis? I mean, this guy and if you think that economically speaking, it's all pie in the sky, he's able to do this because of the business that he has brought to Arlington. Major international global companies relocating there in the last few years and with commitments to expand and grow in the future. He jokingly doesn't refer to this area anymore as DFW. He refers to it as DFWA. And you know what? He might be right, because no tourist comes to another city in the North Texas area more than they come to Arlington, Texas.
That's so great. DFWA, smart guy.
DFWA. He's like DFWA. And I was kind of prodding him a little bit. And I'm like, you must have your eye on Frisco. Frisco's doing some things, and he's like, come on, Arlington Central. Who wants to be all the way? I'm like,
Then it's DFWAF, which also stands for as.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
We need to get those T-shirts now.
Hold on, let me see. I wanted to read you something that he said. He just really impressed me. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, well, what is he? I need to decide if I like him or not. He's independent, completely independent. Doesn't belong to any party. He's just an independent dude out there about turning Arlington into a baller metropolis. He has he made some news on Friday, which is why we were surprised that he still came. He made some national news on Friday when he went on NPR and started criticizing Trump's tariffs and how that's going to affect GM towns, of which Arlington is a General Motors town. And he's like, this is really going to crush the auto. So a lot of MAGA went a little bit nuts on him on Friday. And that's why everybody was surprised when he showed up for Mike Reiner's interview. But dude, he didn't back down. He leaned right into it. He said, look, he's like, this isn't about politics. This isn't about MAGA. This isn't about libtards. You know, this is how he speaks. He said, this is about the people that I represent who go to work every day at a General Motors plant in my town. How do I protect them? I don't care about anything else. And I was like, whoa, yes, that's what you want. So put a little flag next to his name. Arlington Mayor Jim Ross. Real interesting guy. He's going to come do the show. He's going to sit in here with me. He's like, yeah, I'll come do it. I'm like, all right, dude, we're going to get into some stuff. He's like, bring it. So cool. That'll be fun. Jim Ross, mayor of Arlington.
Wasn't there Jim Ross in the Wrestling Federation or something?
Yeah, right. The name has great recognition too, which is
locally, like in this area, because that was a big part of our wrestling scene.
No, he's not. Look him up. Look him up, man. He is an independent. He's what we want. He's not carrying the water for any party. And when he speaks on behalf of the people of who he represents. And I think we need more of that. We need more of that at a larger level. Let's get him to the governor. He laughed at me. He's like, and I'm like, come on, people are telling you this. He's like, just no. I'm like, you're running for governor. And he smiled. He's running for governor. He's gonna run for governor. Jim Ross, mayor of Arlington. Did you know that Arlington is bigger than Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Kansas City, Milwaukee? It's like Arlington is bigger than most of the major American cities that we think.
You're talking about square mileage or population?
Both. Okay. Yeah, because that's what I said to him when he said that. I go, you mean size-wise? You mean square miles? And he goes, no, population.
What is a population?
500,000 people, 500,000 people in Arlington, and growing exponentially. And he says, you know, Arlington is landlocked. They can't grow their borders anymore, which is why the downtown area is skyscrapers now.
They go up.
Yeah.
They go up.
Can I tell you something that he did say, though? And I thought this was pretty brave of him, because no politician, especially one that's independent, doesn't want to, you know, get into, you know, MAGA, liberal, whatever, you know, that whole mess. He's trying to sort of be a different kind of politician. But he took a lot of crap from MAGA because of his appearance on NPR saying that Trump's tariffs will hurt GM American workers. And he's a GM town. When he came on, he said, oh, wait, what was the thing that he said that I thought was so great? I just went blank. Oh, my God. This is because I'm old. I'm struggling.
Hey, speaking of going up, though, do you know the story where Trump bought the airspace above some buildings in New York at one point or somewhere, and he owned the rights above the buildings, so if they went up, or he could stop them from going up?
I don't know about that. No,
there's something to that where he actually bought the airspace, the above them.
Well, yeah, I think that's normal.
Is it okay?
All right, I'm looking for, what did he say? He had something really great that he said that I can't remember, and it stuck with me, and apparently it didn't stick with me the right way. All right, never mind. Let's move on. Let's see. What do we got here? Brandon, tell people about tomorrow's trivia.
Well, tomorrow's, I call it Tuesday Trash Trivia now. And it's going to be at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road. It's right there in between Midway and Marsh on Beltline. And we're going to get there. We start at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, I think we'll do like 2 rounds, maybe like more questions, though. 1 round? You want to do 1 round with like lots of questions?
Let's do 1 round every 15 minutes, man. I'm ready for it. Let's go.
My concern is what happens to the person that shows up at 7:30, though. They missed the first round. How does that work?
I don't know. You live, you learn. We're gonna figure it out. We're just I'm gonna be throwing some questions out. Are you smart enough to answer them? That's you figure out how it works.
We'll and also guest appearance by the Sunbrew Bikini team. They will have a team tomorrow night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they will have a team tomorrow night.
But you're not gonna make them be in bikinis.
No. They want to be. They can be, but they're gonna be there. We're gonna do a little photo shoot in the back room. Okay. And then bring them out and let them play some trivia and figure out who's smart, who's not.
All right, so here's who do we got? Do we have the lovely Hannah?
Hannah will be there.
She seems really smart. And
tomorrow
really sophisticated.
Night, believe it or not, though, the girls are bringing. You may unless you've been watching me for the last 7 days, you won't know them.
Oh, really?
It's sort of a tryout night.
Oh, look at this.
We're doing a test photo shoot, and then again, we're gonna bring them out and figure out their personalities and. If they're smart or not.
I love it.
You've heard it, hot or not. This is smart or not.
These are audition. You're going to audition girls by making them participate in the trivia event. You're brilliant. You're brilliant. That's fun. You got to see how they are in front of a crowd. Yeah. What a better opportunity.
Yeah.
But it also kills 2 birds with 1 stone, which is fantastic.
It's a chance to get their participation without paying them.
Fantastic. To see if they're worth paying.
Yeah, and it's a tryout of sorts. It really is. And it really let me add another level though, another layer to this. These are the girls that were chosen to be participants in our calendar. So additional add-ons to our calendar coming out. Swimsuit calendar.
Wow. What is, hold on, wait a second. I got to address something with Adam. Adam Rain in the chat room is saying that mayors don't usually use their political affiliations. What are you talking about? Of course they do. Especially mayors of major cities who are a very important and vital part of any political party's machine. What do you mean mayors don't use? Brad, I don't get it. All right, moving on. Let's see here. That's Adam. Adam's always saying, why do I get distracted?
Hey, that's my boy now. Don't leave him alone, bro.
He's all our boy. We all love Adam. We just, all right, let's get into it. Measles. Let's talk measles. We were talking measles. We were tracking it. We went from like 10 cases to 20. Then we crossed 100 and we were all like, ooh. Then it started spreading to different states. Measles are up to 400 now. And I'm going to tell you, we're 6 weeks in. That ain't really anything we need to be worried about. There's only 400 cases of a bunch of idiots who don't have the measles vaccine. I'm not worried about. This is a ridiculous outbreak because we're all inoculated. Anyone who went to an American public school in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and for the last 5 years is inoculated from measles. So we're fine. These are all just the idiots who are like shooting Windex in their veins and
they're
shit
looking
like
for something
that.
to talk about. The next COVID of sorts.
Right. Yeah. They want to scare people. Yeah. That's all media is. It's just about how do we scare people. Final Four is all set. The Final Four, the big NCAA. You watching any basketball? You doing any events concerning basketball? It seems like no. No bar. I mean, it's big bar week. Huge NCAA.
We're just getting back into the bar scene, doing a bar events. We've been mainly focused on like car and motorcycle events. Final Fours are all set. We got all number ones. So nobody's bracket should be busted. Everybody's alive. All of the secretaries in your office who know nothing about basketball, they're still in it. They're going to go home with all that money because it's number ones across the board. The Gators are going to take on Auburn Saturday at 5. That's local time. So that's Florida at Auburn Saturday at 5. And then Houston is going to take on the Duke Blue Devils. And it looks like about 8 o'clock our time on Saturday night. Both games Saturday night. Set the stage for the national championship game. I don't care. Do you care? I don't care. I don't care this year. I usually do. This is the first year I don't care. You know what I've been doing more or watching more of in basketball? The women's stuff, because there's some fascinating stories about the Caitlin chick. Mm-hmm. And then there's like 4 girls just got on the local Dallas team like last week, and I saw their interview for them.
What are they? The Winks?
The Wings, I think.
The Wings.
Dallas Wings. That's the Winks. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's kind of gotten interesting a little bit. You know what I mean? They're becoming a thing now, and I don't watch much traditional sports, but I did get sucked into the whole thing, like the whole background story of is it Caitlin? Is that her name?
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Clark, yeah. I did get sucked into the whole backstory, how she came up and became this big star, kind of a Tiger Woods type thing, kind of for women's basketball.
Yeah.
sneaker deals, all the deals. It's pretty cool.
And you say Tiger Woods because she is a race that is not typically dominant in the sport she's chosen.
I didn't look at it that way as much as
but it's true.
She's a phenom of sorts, and Tiger Woods was a phenom, and money was going out there and being thrown around because of Tiger Woods that we hadn't seen before, and the same thing with her.
Right, and I would say, and you shouldn't feel any guilt for this. Is the way we look at it. Yeah,
I don't feel guilt for that.
She is a lot like Tiger Woods. White girls from the cornfields are not supposed to dominate black girls from the inner city when it comes to girls basketball, but she did. Tiger Woods, a black kid, is not supposed to dominate a bunch of old country club white dudes, but he did. And that's a very similar experience that they both share.
He made golf interesting to the mainstream, and she's now brought women's basketball to the mainstream.
Yeah,
and we're watching it for the first time.
Look, Caitlin, will it stick? That's the thing. Like right now, she's a hot commodity and we're all interested in her. And she seems like a wonderful ambassador for women's basketball. 5 years from now, will women's basketball have grown, or was it just always about Caitlin Clark and maybe she just kind of got boring and wasn't you know what I mean? Are we all just anchored to Caitlin Clark and her success and dragging the league behind her? Or is there genuine interest in other players?
I don't think you have to look too much further than PGA itself. Look what happened with Tiger Woods for a while, then it played out, and I think it'll play out just like it did for the PGA.
No, but the PGA was huge before Tiger.
but it got bigger and more interesting with Tiger.
It did. Well, television, certainly.
And it went more mainstream. It did. It went more mainstream. And you also hit a demographic market that got into golf, which is the black market.
I don't know, man. Arnold Palmer in the 1970s was the #1 trusted endorser of everything in America.
There's truth to what you say, but Tiger Woods exploded it. At another level.
He took it to another level. But
and a new demographic.
But he didn't launch the sport, which is what Caitlin Clark is doing.
To a new demographic, he did. Younger people and black people.
All right.
Other races.
All right. Let's see here.
Let's go back on one more thing. Yep. His commercial where he bounced the ball, stuff like that, really hyped it up, which is what's happening in soccer with the way these kids play soccer now. There's so many rules in soccer, which is the most boring sport, until you see these new tricks they do with the soccer balls. Have you seen this stuff?
No. I feel bad for soccer because it does feel like women's basketball has jumped soccer as far as the fringe 4th or 5th sport we care about. We care about football, #1. That's the big monster. Then you got baseball, basketball, whatever. I don't know, 2, 3, whatever. You can line them any way you want. Then obviously 4th is hockey. Hockey is in 4th all by itself. Then we got to talk about, and then what comes, is it women's basketball or is it professional soccer? I think it might be women's basketball.
Now, globally, soccer's bigger. Globally.
Oh, yeah, of course. We're talking about in America.
In America, though. But yeah, until these new ways of playing soccer, where these guys do these cool tricks and stuff, kind of like a Pele bicycle kick. It's way more advanced than that now. Now I love watching the reels, man, on this soccer stuff, all the moves they do now. It's really fascinating to watch.
Well, let me ask you this. Is professional soccer in the era today with Messi and the Apple TV deal and all of that stuff, is professional soccer bigger than MMA? Or let's just say UFC?
In the U.S. or globally?
In the United States. We're talking about in the United States.
I don't think so.
So you think UFC is bigger than North American professional soccer?
UFC can hold a crowd on pay-per-view. Could soccer go on pay-per-view and have the same amount of response?
Messi's first game here.
Yeah, okay, first game, but what about ongoing?
No.
And now UFC is like every week, before it was like once a month, now it's every week, and it still has an audience, and it's just, I don't like the UFC of today. It's just overloaded.
I haven't watched it.
I like UFC 1, 2, 3. Like I like that stuff, but it's big, it's huge. It's
So football is 1, basketball, baseball 2, 3. You can invert that if you want. 4 is absolutely NHL hockey still, but possibly falling. I don't know. So what is 5? Is 5 UFC or is it soccer? I'm gonna say it's UFC.
I say UFC too. UFC. They bought the Fertilos, sold it for $4 billion, I believe. And now it's worth like $6 billion. It's actually increased in value. That says a lot about it right there.
Yeah, it's run by Endeavor now. Endeavor, which is the most powerful Hollywood agency in California.
By the way, are you watching Dark Side of the Cage?
I have seen some episodes of Dark Side of the Cage.
There was the Dark Side of the Ring, Dark Side of the
Mhm.
90s. Now there's Dark Side of the Cage. It's really fascinating.
Oh, I don't think I have seen Dark. Okay, I was thinking Dark Side of the Ring. You might.
The
be
Ring
right.
is wrestling. The Cage is MMA.
Really.
Yeah, and there's some great stories that I didn't know about.
All right, let's talk a little here about Bill Maher. Bill Maher, a guy who has been an interesting provocateur when it comes to current events commentary since the 1990s. His ABC late night show, Politically Incorrect, was there for years. He moved over to HBO and, took that money, honey, and he's been there now for about 20 years. Bill Maher is an interesting person. I fell out of favor, and he fell out of favor with me around 2017. I stopped watching. I used to watch religiously. It was just too much. The politics, the divisiveness, I didn't like it. So it was too much. And then I came back. I came back about a year ago, and I started watching his Friday night show real time again, and I'm just blown away. I can't believe that I am politically absolutely aligned with where Bill Maher is these days, but here I am. And because of this, because of Bill Maher and his openness as a liberal, as a progressive, as a Democrat, which is what he always says he is, Bill Maher's openness to go hard and criticize the people on the left who are doing all of the idiot things that make them absolutely unelectable. The women's sports arguments and, paper versus plastic straw, all of the shit that makes normal Americans go, oh, I can't believe I'm voting with these people. So he has been going hard against that group of Americans for a long time, and it's caused MAGA, let's call it for what it is, to sort of notice and go, Bill Maher ain't that bad anymore. Bill Maher sat down on his podcast Club Random with Kid Rock a couple of weeks ago, and they had a great conversation, and they genuinely liked each other because guess what, civilians? It's all a work. These celebrities all get along when the microphones are turned off and the cameras are dimmed. This is all a work. They hate each other. They have different opinions. It's not how they really operate. So Bill Maher was convinced by Kid Rock to have dinner with Donald Trump. Kid Rock set it up. This dinner is interesting because Donald Trump and Bill Maher have sued each other multiple times. Bill Maher famously called Donald Trump's father an orangutan about 15 years ago, and there was a big lawsuit about it. And so this is going to be an interesting dinner. You got to figure, a lot of people are saying Bill Maher is going to the other side. So on Friday's show, which would be the last show before what is believed to be a Thursday night meeting, I was reading this morning, a Thursday night dinner. So Bill Maher's show, we were wondering, is he going to pull up? Is he going to be soft? He's got to have dinner with this man. What is the last thing? So let's see what Bill Maher did.
He's going to go hard. Can I jump in and make a comment?
Please, absolutely.
First of all, when it's a sports brawl podcast, number 5 sport in America is UFC, followed by NASCAR, then soccer. For NASCAR. Anyway, I was going to say that.
Only we could hear that.
What I was going to actually say, at what point does Trump make this a pay-per-view in the future?
Look, I don't know.
Could you see? I mean, people would actually pay to watch this if it wasn't available through.
I don't believe it's actually going to happen. Okay. I believe Bill Maher will go to Washington. He will appear, and then Trump won't see. I don't think the dinner is actually going to happen. And this is.
Hold on, finish. You said he'll show up and Trump won't show, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he'll show up for the dinner. He'll arrive in Washington. Bill Maher will check into his hotel, and then he'll get a call that the dinner's off. And he'll be like, oh, okay. Because I don't believe that Trump will actually go through with it. One, because I think what we're about to hear is going to be a little bit too much for Trump to then sit down and have dinner with this guy a couple of days later. And two, I don't think Kid Rock is competent enough to do this kind of setup. I don't think Kid Rock knows what he's doing. So here we go. This is Bill Maher from his show last Friday. People wondering, is he going to dial it back? Is he going to go soft on Trump? Has he gone to the other side?
Roasting the woke nonsense peddlers. Why don't you go all the way and join us? Let me give you the short answer.
Sorry.
Because I don't. Oh, you're so good at roasting the woke nonsense peddlers. Why don't you go all the way?
Fully in context, because Bill Maher That guy is supposed to sit down and have a private dinner with President Trump on Thursday, just a couple of days. And I am predicting right now, there is no way that Trump honors that meeting. Do you think Trump will sit down privately, just him and that guy? Not a chance, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you on that part. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Trump is just too much. I think he's too petty. I don't think that he can rise above that. I think that Trump agreed to having dinner with him, expecting fully that Bill Maher would go on his show and praise him and all that shit. And I think that Trump, just the way he's transactionally minded, and again, I don't take any political position on this. I'm just telling you the kind of dude that he is. He's a businessman. You wanted a businessman. Businessmen are transactional. Because of the way he's so transactional, I think he's going to feel like Bill Maher did not hold up his end of the bargain. And there's no way that this dinner is going to occur. That's my thought. Anyway, we'll move on. That's the Bill Maher to the White House situation developing ... All right, Prince Andrew's accuser, Virginia Giuffre. Right. So this is the girl that Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell or some combination of the two somehow arranged to have a sexual encounter with Prince Andrew of the United Kingdom. There was a lawsuit.
Just so we're clear, is this the girl that actually was working for Epstein? Like she was employed by, like as an assistant or something?
You know,
Brandon, I watched the video and I remember.
Look, this story is so gross to me. I don't know enough of Virginia Giuffre's background. Like, is she even American? I don't even know.
Is she featured in a picture with Epstein and Prince Andrew? Like, there's a picture which they're hanging out together.
There you go. That's her right there. That's
her.
The
Yeah,
picture.
she was actually employed to be a helper for Epstein, like an assistant.
Oh, okay. So she was a full-time worker.
Yeah, she's a full-time worker. Yeah.
All right, there she is. So that's the girl we all know. She recently received a big settlement from the royal family. Remember, she sued him there in Minnesota. I don't know why it was Minnesota. She from Minnesota? I'm not sure. How old was she here? Well, because on it, this looks like a 16-year-old girl to me.
I watched the Epstein thing like 2 years ago. I don't recall, but I don't remember. I don't know.
All right. Well, that is her the way we know her. She was given a sizable settlement that I don't think we ever got any actual number on what it is. But the charges went away in the middle of the trial there in Minnesota, as I recall, and she got a settlement. So that was a couple of years ago. In the meantime, Prince Andrew has been essentially exiled from the royal family. He isn't really allowed to be very front and center, especially now he would be nothing. I was going to say, I think that he would be before King Charles had children, Andrew would have been next in line. I think. Where's Edward? Is Edward? Doesn't matter. Look at me going into weird. He's basically got no royal responsibilities anymore because there's no chance of him becoming king unless, Prince Charles' entire line got wiped out. Harry, William, their kids. Oh, yeah.
No, Harry don't count.
Yeah, in a pinch, he'd count before Andrew the pedophile. They would tap him.
Andrew was the party guy, right? He was a total party guy, Prince or something?
I don't know that he was a party guy. Andrew famously married Fergie. Prince, do you remember Princess Ferguson or whatever she was? But this is, I guess, while he was with Fergie. He was like, so anyway, so let me bring you up to speed. She got a big bunch of money. She moved to New Zealand, Virginia Giuffre. Very controversial, right? I mean, if you like the conspiracy theories, she's well involved in the Epstein thing, so I'm sure she takes a lot of shit online. Like, could you imagine the kind of rando weirdos that reach out to her in her DMs every day? So, that's kind of been her life. Here, let me show her now. There she is today. Can you not see? That's
wow.
Yeah, she's in a hospital in New Zealand. She is Instagramming that she has 4 days to live, or she has been told she has 4 days to live because she has renal failure, which is organ failure, kidney failure, that kind of thing. That's pretty bad. And she was hit by a bus. Does your conspiracy theory antenna go up learning that this woman who tried to take down the royal family suddenly is hit by a bus?
No coincidence.
Dude, me too. I'm sorry. I am not one of these weird conspiracy guys. But are you kidding me? Is it a government bus down there in New Zealand? I mean,
Although I gotta tell you, if you're gonna take someone out, that seems like it'd be hard to orchestrate that, because then you got a lot of moving parts that have mouths and could snitch on you. But I would think they'd take her out more like, go to a bar, drop something to her drink.
Oh,
Some
something way
cyanide.
more like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. The
Having
real
a
world
bus
works
driver
like that.
nail her, like that means the bus driver's got to be involved. Someone had to talk to him to set this up. There's a lot.
All right,
of
let's
moving
go to the
parts.
details. Let's get into the details here, okay? Virginia Giuffre, who, of course, we all know is the woman who took down Prince Andrew. She was entangled with the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. Sex trafficking victim Virginia Giuffre has claimed that she has 4 days to live after being hit by a bus. All right, let's get into the details. The woman abused by Jeffrey Epstein as a teenager and who has also accused Prince Andrew shared a photo of herself lying in a hospital bed covered in bruises. Bidding farewell to her loved ones, mom of 3, Miss Giuffre, wrote on Instagram, "This year has been the worst start to a new year, but I won't bore anyone with the details. But I think it's important to note that when a school bus driver comes at you driving 110 kilometers, I don't know what that is per mile.
What's 60 or something?
Google it. But come on, man. You're going to sit in that chair. I need to Google what 110 kilometers is in miles per hour. But when a school bus driver comes at you at 110 kilometers, no matter what your car is made of, it might as well be okay. So she was in a car. So she said she wasn't just walking and targeted.
Okay.
She says, I've gone into kidney renal failure. They've given me 4 days to live. They are transferring me to a specialist hospital for urology. I'm ready to go, just not until I see my babies one last time. But you know what they say about wishes? Shit in one hand and wish in the other. She's kind of hardcore. She's dying. She just talked about how she's going to miss her kids, and now she's talking like a sailor on leave. You know what they say about wishes? Shit in one hand and wish in the other, and I guarantee it's still going to be shit at the end of the day. Oh.
Can someone in the chat room do that? My phone's messing up. It's got a mind of its own. 110 kilometers converted to miles per hour, please.
I'm saying it's 60. I'm guessing. I'm just going to say that's 60. Also. That's probably because no way a school bus gets going, more than that.
But so they hit her in a car, though. So that really, if you want someone taken out, I think you do you kill them a different way.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe this isn't so much a conspiracy
now I feel like it's an accident.
As maybe she's a bit theatrical. maybe she's not even, because this isn't a doctor. We don't have any. This is her. But what kind of horrible person would do this so publicly when she has children? She's got children now who think their mommy thinks that she's got 4 days to live. That's an absolutely horrible thing to do if it isn't true.
If they hit her walking across the street, because she always crosses that street every time at 3 p.m.
She was in a car.
Yeah, that would be. But now I don't think it's conspiracy. I don't think so.
All right, let's keep going. Let's see.
By the way, it is Barney Styles. It says 68.35 miles per hour. So we were close. Good guess.
Virginia didn't share further details of the reported crash or where it occurred, but Miss Giuffre, who now lives in Australia, is thought to be estranged from her husband. A week before sharing the photos of her injuries, she posted about her sadness, about how much she missed her children. All right, so she moved down to Australia. Apparently her kids are still up there in Minnesota or wherever. I assume Minnesota because that's where the trial was. Alongside photos, she wrote, "My beautiful babies have no clue how much I love." This is getting sad. I don't.
Now my theory is that she's trying to do get sympathy, and maybe she lost her kids because she's a public figure in a bad situation. So the husband got them or the ex got them or something.
What she got money wise?
What does she have money wise?
I am wondering what she's got money wise, because she's got enough to just ditch her whole family and go, I'm starting a new life in Australia, which is what she apparently has done.
Yeah, I don't know. In Australia, it's expensive to live. Like, what's something here's $10, there it's probably 14 or 15.
What we could find out what the settlement was. Hold on, let me see here. Let me Google search
it's not gonna
that.
be out there.
Yeah, but there might be some ballpark estimations and all that. What was Virginia?
I mean, it's a 7-figure number automatically, right?
Giuffre. How do you spell Giuffre now?
J-E. I'm not gonna put it out there, but
why not? She's way more famous than we are.
No, I'm not gonna try to spell Jeffrey.
Oh,
out loud.
There it is
on paper.
Hold on. Let's see what she got. People in the chat room probably already have it.
I mean, your chat room's got some battling going on.
What are they fighting about?
There's like a 3-way fight between somebody called No, and then let's see who the players are. It scrolls down. I can't pull it back up.
What?
I can't go backwards on it.
All right, I'll figure it out.
But I guess there's someone maybe possibly potentially using a fake account to make comments.
Hey, that's good. At least somebody's noticing.
Yeah. And I'm just repeating
what constitutes a fake account? I can't get a number. I'm looking at Virginia Louise Joffrey is an American-Australian campaigner who offers support to victims of sex trafficking. She's a victim of sex trafficking herself. She is also accused. Okay, it doesn't say how much she got. Let's go to her Wikipedia page. Let's see what the settlement is. That'll have something. I don't know, maybe some. Andrew. All right, here we go. Virginia Joffrey versus Prince Andrew. On August 9th, 2021, Joffrey filed a civil lawsuit against Britain's Prince Andrew, alleging sexual encounters. It was announced that both parties had reached an out-of-court settlement, which includes the prince making a substantial donation to Joffrey's charity. I bet you he gave $20 million to her charity. She is the head of her charity, and that's how you do it. All right. I bet it's about 20 million. So she's doing good. She's running a $20 million charity. She's got no employees. It's just her.
Yeah.
She can pay her whatever she wants. And honestly, what does she have to do other than give interviews? That's what her charity can do. She is, if you ran a charity, you would look for someone like her to be the ambassador because she's the highest profile victim of sex trafficking.
Right.
But so all she's got to do is do a couple of interviews. That's my charity for the year. I'm keeping my story out there. I don't know. I wish her well. I don't know if this seems very.
I believe she was found. I believe she might have been an artist. That's how she's teamed up with Epstein. I could be wrong. Either a massage therapist or she's an artist.
It was a massage therapist.
Okay.
That I do know.
That was Italian.
She started out as a massage therapist. All right, let's talk about Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen, who appeared on Saturday Night Live. It was the second time that he'd appeared on Saturday Night Live since the controversial SNL dropping. He was supposed to be a music guest like 4 years ago or something. And then he went to a bar without a Corona mask, and Saturday Night Live was like, no. Or as we're finding out, NBC was like, no. Look, because Lorne Michaels is now distancing himself from all of that stuff, which I don't think as Lorne Michaels, the producer, the owner, the creator, the guy most recognized as being the singular voice behind Saturday Night Live, I don't think he can distance himself just because for a few years in his 60s and 70s, he decided to just, whatever, let NBC do what they wanted. Well, NBC did a lot of shit that ruined the reputation. And now Lorne Michaels, in its 50th year, he seems to be trying to take more control. And at least he's admitting now, and he's done this in a couple of interviews that I've seen. And by the way, he's been all over because of the 50th anniversary. He's admitted that, he sort of allowed NBC to do things over the past few years that he probably didn't support. Shane Gillis being one of the examples, and Morgan Wallen being another one that he cited. So Morgan Wallen has been back to Saturday Night Live since. So this wasn't like he's back after I wonder what he's going to do. So, you can stop with all that nonsense. He's been back and he's got a new album. So he goes on Saturday Night Live and he performs 2 songs. And his first song, the first song that he did, I think was the new one off of his album. And it's great. It was so good. I don't know Morgan Wallen from anything other than the fact that the artist really likes him. So out on the boat, I hear some of it, but it's, it's not really my thing. But I watched him, me and my son, we watched Saturday Night Live together, my kid and I, and we text back and forth, and we rate on a scale of 1 to 10 the sketches. But after the Morgan Wallen thing, we were both like, wow, that was a really good song. That was a really good song. And I think the new album is called You're the Reason or whatever, but I think the song was something like, if I'm the problem, you're the reason. And what I thought was really interesting about Morgan Wallen playing that song is it dawned on me that Morgan Wallen is so popular because he's Taylor Swift for dudes who hate their exes. That's who he is. As big and as important. We've got a friend, Lacey.
Yeah.
So we know what the Taylor Swift delusion is among her fans,
yes,
right?
do.
Okay. Yes. Morgan Wallen is that, except for dudes who really hate their exes.
Well, let's start a damn podcast like her and become the #1 podcast for him.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad thing. And again, it's not a judgment. It's just an observation that all of the dudes who seem to love him seem to be guys who say shit like, yeah, I got to go talk to my bitch ex-wife. It's like those kinds of dudes who really have taken to Morgan Wallen. Well, I'll tell you, that first song that he did off his new album is really good. And I'll be listening to it on Spotify. All right. Then he played a second song. And by that point, I don't know what I was doing. I think I jumped over to Sports Center, so I missed the second song. But something did happen at the end of Saturday Night Live. At the end of Saturday Night Live, during the good nights, where the host, by the way, was Mikey Madison, of course, from Anora. She's so good. She was so good. Do you know what I forgot about Mikey Madison? I've been promoting her since about a month before the Oscars, when I'm like, this chick should win. She was so good. This movie was great. And then look at me. It won everything. She won everything. And now she's a superstar. I told you about how I first spotted her on the FX series like 7-8 years ago called Better Things, and how it was so awesome to see her now as a grown-up actress just killing it. So to see her host Saturday Night Live, I was very excited. I think she killed it. And then Morgan Wallen, big musical guest. At the end, Morgan Wallen, standing next to Mikey Madison, as is the procedure, the protocol there for good nights. Mikey Madison and Morgan Wallen embraced as the credits were rolling, and then Morgan Wallen bolted. Never seen this before. Morgan Wallen walked directly off the stage and into the camera and was gone. Okay. That was weird. I watched it and I thought, that was weird. I don't think I've ever seen. He's got somewhere to go. So, of course, the internet takes it over and they're like, oh, he hates Saturday Night Live because of this, because of that, and whatever. And this is all happening in real time in the moments following him doing this. And I'm watching it going, yeah, that was weird. Then you had Kenan. You had Kenan Thompson and Ego Wodum, who in the background, after Morgan Wallen walks away, you see Ego Wodum walk up to Kenan and say, what's going on there? And point in the same direction as Morgan Wallen just stormed. And you can read Kenan's mouth. Kenan Allen says to Ego Wodum, he just left. Like he just left. Like, I don't know. He just left. There is a big after party. There is a whole thing after where the cast and the people who performed, they get together in the moments after the cameras go dark. And it's, it's nice, real. He didn't stick around for that. He was like, fuck you people. He was gone. Or at least that's the impression that online. Now I'm going to show it to you. We've got it here. We'll show you exactly how it looked, and we'll break it down. And then we'll tell you about, how he himself didn't make it any better by an Instagram post that he put up in about an hour after. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, hold on. Again, that first part, only you and I could hear. Oh, so I haven't shared it yet. All right, here you go. This is the good night. This is, boy, I'll tell you, the internet sleuths are going crazy with this. This is the end of Saturday Night Live. Morgan Wallen walks off. Let's watch it. Okay, Brandon, make a key. You see it? You good? Yep. All right, here we go. Let's break it down.
Thank you so much to Morgan Wallen. I had a wonderful time. Thank you all.
All right, now they're going to embrace. Thank you for hosting. Appreciate that. She said thank you. Nice little hug. And Lonzo.
Well, he didn't run, though. I just think he had somewhere to go.
No, I know. I was going to say, though. Now she's looking. Oh, hold on. We'll go back to that. You see Ego Wodum right here. She's going to walk up to Kenan. He's going to tell her she left. He just left. And he pointed and she's like, oh my. So that's got a lot of people, on the internet going, what happened? Why did Morgan Wallen do that? What is going on? Well, he then, about an hour later, he had somewhere to be. He gets on his Instagram, which I don't have a copy of, but he gets on his Instagram and he shows a picture of his private jet. This is an hour after this. So he went straight to the airport. Picture of his jet with the phrase, I'm going back to God's country. which people in New York were like, "Oh, fuck you, dude." After they were gracious to him, someone like me who doesn't know Morgan Wallen from Dick, I like hear that first song and I'm like, "Oh, that's a good song," and I will still be listening to it because I do separate the art from the artist. But why is he trying to be a dick? If he had to just make a flight because he wanted wanted to be somewhere else, that's fine. That's understandable. He had to catch a flight. He's a superstar. We understand that. But then to post that, like just to rub salt or to just inflame the fucking idiots more, it was unnecessary.
He should have understood what he posted. But maybe he just had to post it. He's like, I'm just ready to get back. He just wasn't his kind of town. Like you can dislike a town and not be
you
rude.
play the game. You're a celebrity.
Yeah.
That's fucking. He is needlessly stirring up the idiots because he finds enjoyment out of all of us being at each other's throats. He has been welcomed back to SNL twice now. And, it's kind of a performative dickish thing. Maybe he's just an asshole. I mean, he's a talented guy. I really thought that first song was beautiful. And here's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, so let's move on now. So that first song, that new song, it struck both me and my son. And my kid pointed this out to me. Most songs that guys sing about their relationships with women are, oh baby, this, you're the most beautiful, I love you, all of these kinds of things.
Didn't know what I had till it's gone.
Right. Lamenting that, oh, you figured me out. I know I'm not the best guy, but I love you. That's the attitude. This guy wrote a song that sounds like, I think it's going to be a big hit with a totally different attitude, which is it's in the tone and the vibe of a love song. It's beautiful. The music is beautiful. The chorus is beautiful. But the fucking words that he's singing is that, you know what? You're kind of a fucking bitch too. I mean, without saying that, but he's like, you know what? And the whole song is about, if I'm the problem, maybe you're the reason.
Hold on, but you're wrong about something.
That perspective.
He's not the first to do this. Justin Bieber wrote a whole song about, if my mama don't like you, then you're gone or something. Justin Bieber had a hit song about that.
Yeah, if my mama don't
Someone
like
puts
it,
credit out there.
That's a little different.
Just want to put credit for Justin Bieber for he did beat Morgan Wallen to the punch.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same thing because I think when Morgan Wallen writes a song, he's writing a song for a specific audience. Again, it's he's Taylor Swift for dudes with bitch ex-wives. So I think that he knows what he's doing, and I just thought it was really clever. And my son at 15, he was like, I don't know that I've ever heard a song that is, pretty and honest. But
Bieber's song was very pretty.
But it's where the man isn't going, baby, I screwed up, I want you back. The man is going, as is the case in a lot of very real relationships. The man is going, yeah, I know what I did, but why did I do it? And what role did you play in it? And I don't think I've ever heard a song that did it quite so beautifully as he did in that song. So I wish.
Agree to disagree, because once again, Bieber did it beautifully.
Oh, Jesus, Bieber. There we go. All right. Morgan Wallen, for whatever reason, he seems to be unnecessarily wanting to divide and still, even though SNL brought him back, whatever. And he should be brought back again. Saturday Night Live shouldn't be afraid to showcase or platform artists who don't like what they're doing. Saturday Night Live shouldn't be afraid of anything. Saturday Night Live should put people, Saturday Night Live has had all kinds of people who don't necessarily match what you think Saturday Night Live should be as hosts. Didn't they have they had Trump host it, for crying out loud, but they've had other examples as well. All right, that's the Morgan Wallen story. Let's see, what else do we have here? Coming up on the 2-hour mark. Oh, let me show you this from the Star. This is some video. This is crazy. This happened at the Star. The Star, of course, up there in Frisco. The Star is headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys football team. It is unlike, for my friends in Chicago or anywhere else who are not familiar with Dallas, for my Chicago friends, Hallis Hall is, especially after the renovations of a couple of years ago, Hallis Hall is one of the great football team headquarters in the league. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's got everything modern that you need. That is not what the Cowboys have. In fact, in the recent playbook or report card put out by, was it PFF or the Players Association? I think it was the Players Association. Remember the report card? I think it was the Cowboys that received a D for their training facilities. Why? Because the Cowboys training facilities are at the Star, which is in the middle of a Jerry Jones built football shopping mall. That's what it is. They constantly have intrusions from tour groups coming through, and they got the glass, the windows there in the weight room. So when they're trying to work out, you can have some kid who's off school from Carrollton,
Well,
walk by.
My buddy's the owner of the Cowboys Fit there.
Mhm.
It's like a gym, and they've got 3 or 4 locations. So I was like, they have like a private club downstairs,
Right.
that I got to walk through one time. I was actually making juice for the Cowboys for a minute, and so I got to go through there. And they have all the like not costumes, uniforms over the years,
Right.
And I mean, it's just Jerry World making a way to sell expensive memberships and expensive real estate. And
Don't confuse what I'm saying. It's a Disneyland of football. It
Yeah.
is. I as a fan, to go up, my son and I would go up there all the time. To go up there and just kick around and walk around the Star is awesome. My point is this: you shouldn't be able to do that with a professional football team. The football team should be alone in the woods in private, working on their shit. Only the invited press and beat reporters are allowed. You shouldn't be able to have a shopping mall attached to where your players are training.
For the greater good of
distraction.
for the greater good of the team being good, true. But for the greater good of performance, theatrics, exposure, all those other things,
it's great for the brand.
Yeah,
It's great
there
for
you
the
go.
Cowboy
It's branding,
brand.
100%.
It is absolutely incredible because it is one of the most spectacular complexes I've ever seen in my life. The Star in Frisco is amazing. So anyway, yesterday, or maybe this is a couple of days ago, I'm starting to hear that this may have occurred, but there was an incident in one of the parking lots at the Star. Somebody had, as the report says, a medical emergency. Now, I don't have any more details and I don't know what it was, but apparently they got their car up to a high rate of speed in the parking lot in Frisco and then careened into an entire row of cars. Okay. Now, the cars, and this is why I wondered earlier, was this the players' parking lot or is everybody in Frisco driving a $200,000 supercar? Because the cars that were wiped out were Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and a Cybertruck got absolutely torn in half. Here, let me show you this video. This is from Frisco and the Star. Again, a driver in a car suffering what's being called a medical emergency apparently reached a high rate of speed in a parking lot at the Star and slammed into a whole bunch of other vehicles. All right, so
maybe they had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, man, who knows? All right. This is the aftermath. Are you seeing this?
A little bit more. Oh, I saw this. Yeah, there's a King, like K-E-A-N-E truck that got blasted.
How fast was this car? I'm thinking
It's
this
flipped
is
over, right?
Yeah,
Somewhere. Okay.
Yeah. It's a J-Wagon.
Okay.
So it's one of those
G-Wagon, not
or
J-Wagon.
what do they call it?
Well, you said J. It's a G-Wagon.
G-Wagon. All right. G-Wagon, the Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Yeah, the one that's too top heavy. It looks like a expensive Suzuki Samurai from the 90s. But okay. You want to pay that? You're an idiot. It seems to have careened into. So there we see the car where it landed. Here, let's move it back here. So this
it's nothing special. Parking lot. There's a work truck there for mowing yards, landscaping.
Yeah. What are you talking about? It's nothing special for a parking lot. A Cybertruck. Did you see the damages?
No, I'm saying no, but it's not like a VIP parking area.
Oh, okay, I got you.
There's a work truck for landscaping there.
It just so happens. All right, let's see. I don't know if you can see it. So here's the Cybertruck that was ripped in half. Well, you can see it. This right here, this promotional truck, whatever this is.
That's, I believe, a landscaping company or something.
Well, here you get it from a higher view.
There's another truck, that white truck next to it.
Right here. What is this? This maybe is the Cybertruck they said they got ripped in half. Let's see. Anyway, how fast could this person have been going to do that level of damage? That looks like a missile got launched. It looks like after the Pentagon on 9/11.
I saw this. I didn't know what the backstory was on it, but
yeah, somebody suffering a medical emergency. Let me see.
They had a heart attack or something.
Probably. Yeah, that's typically what I think there. All right, so that happened up there. What else do we want to talk about before we get out of here? I'll do a little sports for you because we got some big news coming out of the NFL. There's two big changes. First of all, let me just say this. Peter Schrager from Good Morning Football announced that he was leaving Good Morning Football. Most of the sports media people are saying that he's going to ESPN, that he has a new deal at ESPN that's probably going to pay him about 10 times what is getting paid there at the NFL Network because they don't pay their people anything. Other than Kyle Brandt, I think they're like dumping a big load of cash on him, but nobody else. That's why people jump so much. That's why Kay Adams left. Anyway, Peter Schrager's moving to ESPN, and he's one of my favorite things about Good Morning Football. He is one of my favorite things about the NFL. He is so optimistic, so smart. Also, he can be a little bit slyly funny and snarky when he wants to be. But in a world, in a sports landscape where everybody is just screaming, where everybody is trying to be Stephen A. Smith, Peter Schrager leaving Good Morning Football is going to be a big loss. He seems like a really nice guy. And I love the optimism and I love the decency in his overall vibe in covering a sport that we all love. So Peter Schrager, good for you. All right, now let's talk about the tush push. Brandon, are you familiar with the tush push?
Is it a dance move?
Nope. The tush push, well, probably could be. The tush push is a move perfected by the Philadelphia Eagles, your NFL world champion Philadelphia Eagles. It is a short yardage play wherein basically gigantic beefy men push a smaller man carrying the ball across a 1 to 2 foot.
Yeah, I remember Refrigerator Perry did that one time, I believe.
No, he ran the ball in. Now this is different. This is a whole bunch of 6'5".
You pick him up and you throw him.
Not throw him, but just kind of stick him inside, and then 5 gigantic men with the ball carrying just push their way 2 feet, and it works for the Philadelphia Eagles just about every time. And it's crazy funny as a play because the Eagles have been doing it now for a bunch of years, and every time they get to the goal line, they convert, and everyone knows it's coming, and nobody can stop it. Also, over the last couple of years, a number of other teams have been like, well, fine. Well, we can do that too. And it doesn't really seem like any other team can do it.
They can't pull it off.
They can't pull it off. And it's embarrassing because it looks silly, and it's only cool if it works. If it doesn't work, you look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Because, it's not supposed to work. But for some reason, Philadelphia has mastered it. The rest of the league, they're now done trying to figure out what it is that Philadelphia is doing with the tush push. And a lot of them, first, the Green Bay Packers, about a month ago, they came out and they said, look, we're going to move in the new NFL rules discussion. We're going to move to ban the tush push. And a lot of people joked about that because the Green Bay Packers are a very high-profile victim of the tush push. They were a team that couldn't stop it. And so they're angry about it. But now here we are. We sit today. The Rules and Competition Committee, there are a number of voices who are now echoing what the Green Bay Packers said. And what I think is so funny is that one of the loudest, and Brandon, you don't really follow football, so you probably won't get this reference, but one of the loudest voices now on the Rules Committee who is looking to take a serious look at banning the tush push is Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott. And this is, of course, funny because if you wanted to compile a highlight reel of coaches failing to pull off the tush push, you could use Sean McDermott in the Buffalo Bills. They've been trying it and they can't do it. And so now they're at the meetings going, yeah, we think that this should be. But here's the beauty. Sean McDermott is claiming that he wants it banned for health reasons, for the safety of the players.
Okay.
Now, even though he's tried it with his own players like 10 times, he didn't give much of a shit about the health of it when he was
This happened to us
doing
in dodgeball. Sunbrew had to deal with this every year, new rules to help stop us.
When you dominate, other teams will get together and, they'll. All right, so here's the story. It says here, will NFL teams pass on the passers in 5? This ain't the tush push story. Where is it? Shit. All right, never mind. I got a new mock draft. Anyway, there you have it. Sean McDermott talking some shit. He's on the Rules Committee, and he's saying that he kind of supports the idea of looking into he got into a shouting match with Howie Roseman, general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. Apparently, it was in good fun. They're not mad. Both of them were like, yeah, he's wrong. And I told him he was wrong. The way men are supposed to argue behind closed doors. So it's nothing that we need to like sell some magazine covers with. But yeah, I just find it very funny and hypocritical that the league, and Sean McDermott, by the way, who tried and failed to pull off the tush push numerous times. He's now against it. Also, the very same league who is also focused on safety, because if they do end up banning the tush push, it will be for bullshit safety reasons, right? That very same league that is looking to change the play that allows Philadelphia to do things other people's can't. That very same league who's doing that because of safety and because they care about their players will also be pushing for an 18th game. One more game. Money, honey. Oh, I thought it was all about safety. You're going to put these Warriors out there for one more game. It'll be meaningless. It won't mean anything to them except for, possibly sustaining a life and career threatening injury, but you'll make more money on that 18th game. Hey, NFL, keep telling me about how it's all about the player safety. Please do. While banning the tush push. Brandon, tell people about tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, we're going to have our Tuesday trash trivia over at the Back Nine in Addison, 4060 Beltline Road. Come out by yourself, bring a friend, bring a team, whatever. We'll be there at 7 p.m. ready to rock and roll. We're going to have some good door prizes. We've also going to have gift cards to the winners of the trivia at the end, first and second place teams. Special appearance by the Sunbrew Bikini team will be playing at some point, and posted by Pugs and myself.
Yeah, come on out. It's going to be fun. We're starting to take this daily show, this talk show. We're taking it on the road. We do this every day at noon for the past 3 years here from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E Gallery. But damn it, folks, we got to press the flesh. Got to shake the hands. Let's get out there. We're starting to go out. I know last week we sprung it on you. It was a little bit quick. How about tomorrow? Come on, chat room. Who's coming? Bill is our reigning chat room champion. Is there anybody in the chat room that can beat Bill at trivia? We'll see.
And we're forming that super team, the powerhouse team.
I'm scouting my
I should mention something, by the way, because you're starting to get out and do more stuff. I'm going to just promote you for a second.
Ooh, look at him.
You guys out there, if you have a business or you have an event going on and you need a host, this is what Pugs does for a living. And if you need to hire his services, I think you should reach. I'm promoting you, brother. It's
available for corporate gigs,
birthday parties, and quinceañeras.
I don't know about that. But
why not? Why limit yourself? Don't box yourself in, brother. But I mean, I just want to make sure people understand that that's something you do, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if people think about it that way, but you're a pro. You're a pro, man. No matter what it is, you can handle the job and the task. So I just want people to know they could hire you for being a host.
Isn't that nice?
Why not put it out there?
Isn't that nice of him to say? I was not playing. That's nice. Thank you. Anything else? Anything else you want to push? Just
tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and open my mouth and say we're gonna give some more Rhino Rush out.
Rhino Rush.
Yeah.
All right. We do these. It makes you smart or stupid like us. Whatever.
By the way, the Sports Bra earlier said that they did 2 of them. They love them. They already did 2 earlier today.
Yeah, I gave the Sports Bra some.
Yeah, they had a little comment in the post. And Kojak, thanks for the comment about the Sunbrew t-shirts. Had to get you some new ones.
Yeah, well, I saw that. Was Kojak in the chat room?
He was in there earlier, yeah.
Oh, man, I love Kojak.
Yeah.
He's one of the coolest from back in the day. What a wonderful guy. All right, one more time, folks. It is Pledge Week. We are trying to raise $50 every single day. We do it once a month, and it's Pledge Week, so help us out. $250 is the goal for this week if we are to continue doing these live shows every day at noon. And new shows coming here from Radio Misfits Dallas. Shock House. That's a new show and a new platform or a new actual series of shows that we're doing. We recorded some Shock House Dallas yesterday. CC and Keith from the Sports Bras are a part of Shock House. What do we do? We got into some stuff yesterday. We got into some wild stuff. Like, for instance, you organically earlier today, when we were off the air, started talking about the very same subject that one of the subjects we did yesterday on Shock House, which was you started talking about hot local news anchors.
Yeah.
Yeah, just organically. And I'm like, oh my God, we just did this whole thing.
Yeah.
We did on Shock House yesterday. We talked about the best sideline reporters. And unfortunately, although we started it by who's the most capable, knows the most about football, and is the best to look at, it pretty much just devolved into she's not hot. But it was still fun. What are we looking at here?
The Selena stuff, people doing like Selena contests. They were showing a bunch of little girls who were like doing Selena lip sync stuff.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, Appreciate you. We're going to
Thank
get
you.
out of here. We'll
Thanks for
see
having
you tomorrow. Tomorrow, another show at noon. And then again, folks, make plans. Come on, play trivia with us. Come on. It's going to be fun. Also, Pledge Week, help out the show if you can. We left that up all day. Love you. See you tomorrow. You're all the best. From the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E-Gallery, I am Pugs Moran. My guest today has been Brandon of Sunbrew. Sunbrew Brandon. We'll see you tomorrow. Like, follow, subscribe.